Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channel. Sorry for the silent intro, but every time I play music I seem to get a copyright claim, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. Anyway, because I'm not big enough to have somebody make me an intro song. Anyway, there's, we've got lots to cover today. Lots to cover today. And today is a fabulous day because the water heater is coming. Yay! And I'm super stiff. I have to put together the jumping jacks video, but I will do that. That's gonna be my thing, my project after the stream. I'm gonna use iMovie and put it together, but that's besides the point. Anyway. Here we are, we're ready for the return of Can Polly. That's right, folks, Can Polly has returned. But before we get to that, we've got a bunch of other videos to watch. And apparently, I was going to also read an article from the National Post to summarize for you guys, but it kept refreshing on me. But apparently, Tom Hanks's kid tried to explain the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake to him, and it was so convoluted that Tom Hanks needed to explain Chet Hanks's explanation to him to the media. It was that fucking convoluted. It's okay. If YouTube works better for chatting for you spittlebuggies, then that's okay because I've broken the halfway mark for the 3,000 hours that I need for monetization on YouTube, and that's the last step I need to be able to apply for monetization. So the more watch hours I can get on YouTube, the better. And there are other people that can come in on Twitch and hang out. But yeah, so yeah, apparently Tom Hanks needed to explain his own son's explanation of the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef to the media because it was so convoluted that everybody was like, huh? What? Nobody understood. Nobody understood what he was talking about. And even the way it was written in Pincolo read me a couple of lines, and it was so badly written. I was like, did somebody get drunk at the National Post and the editor just felt sorry for them and just published it anyway? Like, that's how weirdly structured the sentences were in the article. It was very, very strange. And I wish that I could have read more of it, but as I said, the ads kept making the article refresh, so I couldn't finish reading it. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. But we've got lots of other videos. So we're gonna start on our very right hand side with a video titled "Is This True?" And it is by Abba and Preach. It's a short one. It's a short Abba and Preach video. Tom Hanks has something wrong with his brain. Well, wasn't he, accused of being a passenger on one of the Epstein flights at one point? I'm pretty sure I remember that. Am I wrong? Because I told Pincolo that he was, one of the, Pincolo and I were talking about that, and we were like, isn't he one of the passengers? Or wasn't he accused of being one of the passengers at least? So, and if you're in Twitch, if you've just popped into Twitch chat, I do have a pinned message saying this, but while I'm playing videos and I have the screen shared for video playing, I can't switch to Twitch chat because then you guys will not see the video. You'll see Twitch chat. So, bear with me if there's a video playing, then I'm not going to be able to see Twitch chat right then because I'll be on the video page so you guys can watch. I will be quickly sometimes pausing and switching the screen to Twitch chat, or I'll check it when I'm finished the video and on solo cam. But I've noticed that people have said something and then like they've gotten frustrated and left. But so that's why I've got a pinned message up in the chat there so you guys can see that. So let's put this on the live scene and let's see what Abba and Preach are asking about we'll see what they want to know what's true.
This showed up on me because it was like a TikTok or a Twitter tweet that went viral.
A tweet that went viral? Tweet.
This is an interesting one. Okay. This comes from Stacy K. All right?
Stacy K.
A lot of cis girls would date and marry guys who would dump them without hesitation if they happen to have a penor.
Okay, yeah.
But they still think they still think that what they have is love. He doesn't love you, he loves your whole.
No. No. Okay, then why is it that you have a preference, Stacy? This is what I'm talking about. Like these people who are these people who will date either a guy or a girl and then shit on people who have a preference, but then they won't call themselves bisexual. They're like, no, I'm pansexual. And I'm pansexual and non-binary because I don't care who I fuck. No, you're bisexual and you're a little bit of a slut as well. I'm sorry. And this is coming from somebody who's bisexual, okay? But I chose to only have a penis because I can't seem to find a woman who isn't pretending to be fucking... I can't seem to find somebody who's not trans pretending to be a chick. So just fuck it. So, like, he only loves your whole. That's not true at all. It's called a sexual preference, and it's okay to have.
If your boyfriend or husband doesn't see trans women as women, he doesn't see women as anything other than their orifice.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Tell me what you actually think without actually telling me you trans... Like, this is actual sexism from trans women. Because if you're actually thinking this, there's something wrong with you. Because people with actual common sense know that women are more than a vagina, okay? Women are way more than just a vagina. They have, like, other physical characteristics that make them women, like uteruses. And before people, like, that's what I mean. People who go, like, there are women who can't have children. Does that not make them women? No, it does make them women because they still have a uterus. Their uterus just doesn't work. Okay? That doesn't mean they're not women. A trans woman does not have a uterus. He doesn't have ovaries. He doesn't have, like, the internal things that make you a woman. He doesn't have the pelvic structure of a woman. And none of those things are what a partner thinks about when they're in love with you. It's your personality. It's, yes, a little, it is also your physicality, but it's also your personality. It's the way your chemistry works. It's, preference is something like reality. Right, Spittle Buggies? Like, holy shit. It's ridiculous. Like, you cannot expect people, like, the fact that you think that men think this way about women shows what you think about women.
Okay.
Ha! Preach is broken.
This conversation.
Preach is broken.
We did a video on that, and you brought up a wonderful point.
Which is?
Well, the wonderful point that you brought up was, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Huh? If you're gay, and you find out, and your boy would find out that you have a vagina, he would dump you.
Yep. Yep.
He don't love your dick. He don't love you. He loves just the dick.
Yep.
That's not real love you got.
There's no way they would ever say that.
No, nobody. Because the gay man should be allowed to have a gay man as a partner. Why is that? You know, that would be trickery if a person if a woman tricked him into being in a relationship and he wasn't straight. Why is it different when it's a straight man and a straight woman? Oh, I know. Because these people are heterophobic, and I'm actually using that term unironically, and they claim that heterosexual people are as homophobic as they are heterophobic, which for the majority of straight people is not true. Most straight people today do not give a fuck who you are sleeping with, as long as you are not doing it in public or in front of their children. Or as long as you... Three things. As long as you're not doing it in public, as long as you're doing it with a consenting adult, and as long as you're not doing it with a consenting adult in front of their children. That's all most straight people give a shit about. Okay? You insane people are showing your true colors the way you are acting and talking.
No, they wouldn't.
They would not say that.
They would not.
Yeah.
But still, the rhetoric is the same, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I've heard gay dudes say that they're repulsed by the idea of like the female reproductive.
100%. I've
Yeah.
heard. Yeah.
Is it weird for dudes to say, I don't want to look at penors?
No.
For straight dudes? Is it weird?
No.
I don't think none of that is weird. I'm okay with what I said. It is fine. And you know what? You guys are a bunch of weirdos. I'm gonna tell you why you're a bunch of weirdos. All right? Why are you forcing people that don't like you to like you? If a motherfucker don't want to date me because of who I am, guess what? I don't want to date them.
No. Exactly. Like, if I had walked into the gaming cafe and Pinkalo had shown up and gone, oh my god, what the fuck is a blind person doing in a gaming cafe? You can't game, you stupid blind chick. Get the fuck out of here. Do you think I would have been like, oh my god, he's so sexy? Ah. No, I would have been like, fuck you, asshole. Right? But, why would you date somebody that doesn't like you for who you are? Why do you want to force that shit? Oh, wait, because you're abusive and narcissistic, that's why.
That's fair.
I don't want to force them to date me. Ew.
No.
Why the f- would I do that? That's mental illness right there. Yeah. No, you got to love me. If you.
The three goes both ways for hetero, bi, or homo. Yep.
You know what? Some people at some point asked me what my type was, and I said I don't have a type. Bad bitches is the only thing that I like. But more than that, I like who likes me. That's the old high school
with the right holes.
of course, yeah, of course.
Is love supposed to be unconditional? I don't believe that. Do you?
Their idea, what they like in their head is that.
Okay.
But it's not.
I don't think so, right?
It's not.
No,
It's not.
it's not.
It's not.
No, like as much as you want to say that love is unconditional, like there's conditions, like don't cheat on me, right? Like don't, treat me with respect, like don't, there are conditions to love, right? And they go both ways. And like it's insane how people these days think that they should be allowed to just do the most horrific thing, like just cheat and cheat and cheat and backstab. And like I've seen videos of actual couples where a man will find out that his wife has been siphoning like hundreds of thousands of dollars out of their bank account into a secret bank account, and that money's been what he's been putting in, well, like because he's been working his ass off and she's been staying at home and she's been saving the money just in case they divorce, right? Meanwhile, he's had no plans of divorcing her at all. So it's like these people are broken.
There's a wonderful, brilliant comedian called Daniel Torado. Okay, phenomenal dude that he has a bit on that talking about, you think love is unconditional? It's not. It's conditional. No, you love him. You love that person unconditionally. Okay, cool. What if it was you would want, what would really please him would be to fuck another girl? Would you still love him? No. Because you love him conditionally, but that's most of us.
Yes.
You nailed, fucking hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Or here's another hypothetical. What if I'm really madly in love with somebody, we've been together a long time, we've had all the right discussions, and then 5 years into the marriage, she says to me, I actually don't want kids and I'm never going to have kids. And I don't want to be with her. Does that mean I never loved her? I only love her ability to reproduce kids? No.
No, that means that
there's just certain things I need out of a relationship.
Right. There are certain things that like you don't match. If you want kids and your partner doesn't, then that's usually a deal breaker, because wanting kids is a very, very, very instinctual thing that you really can't ignore.
That's all. It's a simple thing.
I'm going to tell you something. Don't tell women what they should love and what they shouldn't love and what they feel love or not. Okay? Yes. Some of these women, because we don't want to date them because they have a...
Real love is arguably neutral conditions agreed upon. Yep. Absolutely, Spittle Buggies. You're absolutely correct. Agreed upon conditions is what real love is.
Because we don't want to date them because they have a penis. Listen, some of these women don't want to date us because we take them to Chipotle. So let's not start with this thing, okay?
Yep.
No. Love who you love who loves you back, and leave people alone with that.
I just think it's such weird, manipulative, gross behavior to be online and to try to mentally people up into thinking that, or to convince women that there's something wrong with their partners because they want a certain genital. It's fine. Just let it happen. This is weirdo behavior.
It is.
Now,
it's weird.
I can understand that for trans people, dating might be really difficult. Mm-hmm. And so because they're ostracized based off of their alignment or whatever body parts they have, I can imagine that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it tougher though. Doing this, getting all angry and basically demeaning the group that you're trying to belong to because you're telling them that their partners only want them because they could stick their dicks in their holes is awful. And it's making it worse for you. Don't do that.
This is the wrong response to that.
100%.
At the end of the day, go find people who appreciate you. Go go where you're appreciated, not where you're tolerated or not wanted. I think that's the most sensible advice in all this. But trying to change everyone's ideas about attraction is just going to make people more resentful and think you're more of a weirdo. That's what I think.
And mind you, I'm not talking about in the world. I believe that you should, I believe the children are the future. It has nothing to do with the rights or with the places. You should be tolerated everywhere. Now, we talk about interpersonal relationship. That's let people be.
Yes.
Let people be.
That's it. Body parts. That's so weird. The whole holes thing has.
He just loves your holes. Ugh.
Yeah. It's so, like, even them as men were grossed out by that. All they love is your holes. Like, that made them uncomfortable just reading that. I could tell. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. So, it's this, like, I'm so sick of these people being so, as Ava said, manipulative. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that they behave in this fashion, and then are confused as to why people aren't as receptive as they'd like them to be. It's like, I'm sorry, what the hell did you expect from people when you demean them and degrade them the way that you say that you are being treated? Meanwhile, you get everything you want, society is bending to your will, and you're still not happy. Like, what the hell is the matter with you people? Like, you're never gonna be happy. So why should we even try to make you happy? Like, you know what I mean? Why should we try? If you're never gonna be happy with how we bend to your will and we start telling everybody our pronouns even though we don't really want to, and like all that nonsense, what, and you're still like, no, your partners only love you for your holes because that's how we feel about you. But we're not gonna say that part out loud. So Bering found a video. He's called it "Me and My Trans Wife Are Totally Not Gay." Totally 100% not gay. So this one should be good. I wonder if it's Sugar Tits and him again watching a Truly video. But I figured since we just covered the thing that Ava and Preach read, that we would go to this video.
All right, it's Love Don't Judge Wednesday. See, I told you they're usually Wednesdays.
Did you?
Yeah, in like a previous episode, I said, Love Don't Judge Wednesdays. And you said, why are they Wednesdays, Bering? And I said, well, they just happen to fall on Wednesdays for some reason.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Hey, look, it's Wednesday here. Because it was Wednesday there yesterday. Yay! We're following the tradition and the trend. It's still Love Don't Judge Wednesday.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like I've got deja vu for this one because we've been here before. I think Love Don't Judge are kind of pushing this idea. So this video is called I'm Marrying a Trans Woman, but I'm Not Gay.
Oh,
no, okay.
Not another one of these.
Yeah, they're pushing the idea.
You are gay.
Yeah, you are definitely gay.
You're very
I think
gay.
it's like what we said in the last one. It's about the percentage of how much you are gay.
Yeah, it's the gay factor.
The gay percentage.
Yeah, and I think they just do it for clicks too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But did you see the last one? They ended up on like No Jumper podcast and shit. It got pretty big. Tim Pool's talking about him. Everyone's talking about him.
Oh, didn't that cuck have him on? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah,
That
No
cuck.
Jumper.
Is that...
Oh my god, Sugar Tits just was like, yeah, didn't that cuck have him on? Yeah, the No Jumper dude. Oh my god, what the
was talking about him.
Oh, didn't that cuck have him on? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, no jumper.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? Adam 22 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Catch 22.
Anyway, let's go.
Jesus Christ. He's not a cuck, but okay. They're porn stars together, but it's still funny the way he talks.
This is Ayla. She fell in love with David.
He gets judged because I am his trans Barbie fiance.
Okay, see with this one, I'd argue maybe a bit gayer.
He's very
Because
gay.
with the last one, like if you walked past that trans woman in the street and weren't paying attention, you'd think chick. Yeah, I just walked past a chick.
Yeah, that one had more of a passability.
Yeah, this
than
one.
This one?
Yeah, this one's like a drag queen.
He's not gay.
I'm his Barbie fiance.
Since transitioning, Ayla's obsession with plastic surgery has concerned friends.
Look at those lips. That is just disturbing.
I fucking hate that trend. I really hate it. There's so
Oh,
many.
does she have... Is she a she? Is that a she or a he? I don't know. Does that person have the big pouty lips with the like the lip filler? Is that what this is? Since we're paused. Oh, okay. So, okay.
My sister was up over the weekend, as you know, and she pointed out there's so many people that get that shit on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And it's fucking gross.
Oh, yeah. There's a huge percentage.
It doesn't look good.
I think most people know someone who's had lip injections.
Yeah.
A little bit worried about how it could have a negative impact on the health further down the line.
And in the past, Ayla's family have expressed doubts about David's intentions.
I'm a straight guy. I never set out to date a trans person.
Oh, he's a Scotsman. I'm
Okay.
poofter.
I'm near poofter. I stood down.
I'm ashamed to say. I stood down.
Here's what he says though. I never set out to date a trans person. Like, did he accidentally start dating this trans person?
Yeah, how do you... That is definitely somebody that you look at and go, that is definitely a trans person. That is definitely a male to female. That is a chick with... Or that is a dude with a... Just... No, that is... not hard to spot.
I find it hard to believe that you accidentally get into a relationship. Like, oh, you're a man?
Yeah.
Really?
At what percentage do we actually believe he was fooled into thinking that it was a chick at
I'm at
first?
Well, he
Zero.
might not have been fooled. Maybe he was like best friends with the trans woman, and then like it was like, I respect you as a person, and they were just so nice and great that like he fell in love with them or something. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be weird? Imagine if your best mate growing up became trans and then you started dating him.
Oh,
You started fucking
No.
your trans best friend.
Bering is literally imagining one of his best mates, and he's like, no! Oh, God.
Jazz wouldn't even have to change his name. It's a popular trans name.
Jasmine.
I'm Ayla, this is David. He gets judged because I am his trans Barbie fiance. David and I met
No,
on
the
social
fuck
media.
you're not.
He messaged me.
Oh, he accidentally messaged her on Grindr.
Oh, yeah, you're not gay, but you're on Grindr. Buddy, you're gay. You're gay.
I'm a straight man.
Yeah.
I'm near poof.
I'm near poof. I'm not gay.
Here we are, 16 months later, engaged.
I was attracted to her the second I seen her, and I knew she was attracted to me too. With her reaction.
Oh, God. Has she had bottom surgery yet? Does he...
used to be a scaffolder. Now I'm a content creator.
Joining the forces.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, content
They've
creator.
got like a niche market.
I'm an adult entertainment model.
I used to be a scaffolder. I used to work with poles. Now I work the pole.
Yeah.
God, we're fuckwits.
I knew Ayla did solo adult content.
What did I fucking tell you? Straight away.
Yeah, she did solo adult content. That means she put like really big toys in her. Really, really big toys. See, this is why content like that this is why OnlyFans people that don't create content like that get treated like they do, and why their pages are harder to sell because everyone thinks that it's porn when it's modeling photos.
Every person who goes on this, it's like either I'm not gay but I'm dating a trans person, or it's fucking what of it? We've got an OnlyFans, so what? And this is both. It's often both, isn't it?
Yeah. I hate the term content creator these days.
So do I, because it just makes you sound like a fucking slut. I'd never tell people, yeah, my wife's a content creator.
Yeah.
Look, they've got his tits blurred out. That must be a pretty obscene fucking photo. Like, to blur out... Remember that photo I showed you the other day of that fat activist I just did a video on?
Oh, yeah.
And there was a photo of that chick, that big fat chick, with a fucking top on. But the cleavage was just so big and disgusting. I thought, if I show this in the video, I'm going to have to blur this. Even though it's technically... There's no nipple.
Yeah.
It's just some tits are so fucking gross.
Yeah.
That you need to, like... Yeah.
Yeah.
I think YouTube would strike me just for this cleavage. It's ridiculous.
It's so ugly! Why did you put that up there?
I begged you to put that in the video.
Yeah. Now, to this trans person's credit, these tits aren't as disgusting as that fat activist tits.
No, but these tits cost a lot more than those fat act. Like, these ones at least are perked up and have some stability to them.
I mean, I'm going to have to show the fucking photo now just to show people what I mean. I'll blur it.
Please don't.
But I didn't
show
put it in that
Barry.
video because I thought, there's no need. But anyway.
I knew Ayla did solo adult content. We wanted to move into the world of doing it together. It gave us more flexibility.
What the fuck is he saying? I knew I'd get more flexibility.
Yeah. He knew oh my, come on, Barry. It's just a Scottish accent.
I'm just putting individual words together.
I'll have to get Dank's take on this, see if he can decipher.
And we love doing it.
We look good together too, so, why not? Me and David.
He's definitely had work done.
The dude, the dude.
Yeah. I reckon he's had like a facelift or something as well. His face is so shiny.
Do you reckon he's a scaffolder though? He's a tradesman.
Face.
He does OnlyFans porn now.
Fair enough.
His eyebrows are more groomed than your standard woman.
Than a kid on Epstein Island.
Oh God,
I didn't want
Barry.
to do any more until I'd had my surgery.
Wait, so they've had the tits and the fucking face and all that, but not the twig and berries.
They never have the twig.
Yeah, see this.
Called it. I knew he hadn't had bottom surgery done yet. So, who puts it in who? Do they switch? I don't think they switch. I don't think the Scotsman I don't think the Scotsman is a bottom.
See, this is definitely... We were talking about the gay scale before. This is definitely up there.
Yeah, you got the twig and berries. You're already in like 80%, 90%.
Oh, this is like 100%. I don't... I mean, it's a man in a dress.
No. Because if you're...
You don't think this is 100% gay?
No.
Come on. Well, okay, how's... all right, let's turn it around the other way. How's this 20% straight? What's the straight part of this?
Well,
the dress.
The 0% being uber straight, 100% being ultra gay.
You're skirting the question. Tell me, highlight the 20% straight part of this. What part of this is straight? Put the argument for the 20% straight you're putting forth.
The facade of a woman, the titties. The 50 grand titties on her chest.
Okay, so you reckon because they've like committed to the surgery?
Yeah, well, like I don't buy. I look at that and be like, yeah, that's a dude. That's a dude trying to be.
That is a dude with tits, but the tits make it somewhat like a 100% homosexual man would not have sex with a person with tits. Okay, but like a gay man that's maybe in the closet or maybe ashamed of his gayness or is slightly less like flaming might go for a guy with tits because tits.
To be a woman, but if we're talking about the percentage of gay, like 100% being, oh, I want to have someone that looks like a man,
I'd
that's
say
100% gay. With the twig and berries and everything, and the facade of a man, that's like 100% gay.
Yeah.
And, you know, diluting it a bit, I'd say...
You reckon that's 20% diluted, though? Just the tits and the dress?
The facade.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway.
Yes, I do, because
I'd
it's
give it
on
like
a gay scale. Sorry, if 0% is I'm not gay and 100% is I am 100% gay and I want someone that looks like a dude, then
that is, I would
be about
say
20%.
Yes. I'm with sugar tits.
15%.
It's just gay.
I am with sugar tits.
Hey, come on. Why are we having this argument?
I don't know.
There's many parts to getting my boobs bigger. For me, it's something that I've been kind of attracted to.
That's a pretty skinny bloke.
The knockers
with
are
massive knockers.
ridiculous.
Why do you need
Since I
bigger
was a
boobs?
kid,
Why aren't
like,
you
my
just
favorite thing
getting
was
your
whenever
bottom
getting,
surgery?
a real life-size Barbie, and I was so excited for that because I was able to more like visualize myself of it rather than a small little doll. So I've always been kind of drawn to the plastic look. It's definitely gone further than I thought it would. It's felt like life or death. It's felt like I need to have this surgery done.
You just notice how high her neckline of the t-shirt is there, and that she was wearing a choker as well before. They must have a humongous Adam's apple.
You notice this dude, right? He's the same as the dude in the last video.
That means she hasn't had. That means they haven't had the surgery to get that shaved down, because that is a thing. That means they haven't had the bottom surgery, so all they're concerned with is, like, the boobs. I saw one of these, like, 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna not watch the whole thing.
Video like this. It's testicles and livers and shit to get really muscly. And he's like huge and bulbous and he's got fucking veiny muscles and shit. And he's like, yeah, he's always red, like he's just been exercising. That's
right.
Yeah, they always just look like that.
It's about Ayla being who she wants to be. That's what's the most important thing.
I'm still a good, genuine, authentic, real person, then I can be as fake on the outside as I want.
Before we met, she says, I need to tell you something.
I was like incredibly nervous to tell Davis that I was trans. What I expected from him was to get some aggressive messages.
It got to the stage where he told me, I was like, I know. It was never anything to me. I've only ever seen Ayla as a woman, and that was it.
But he said he never intended to date a trans woman. But he always knew. Well, you did intend to. Then that's cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that. But why are they like, oh, I'm just accidentally dating this trans woman. Don't call me gay, bro. I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
I'm not gay.
Yeah,
just accept it. Just
yeah,
embrace
just be
that
like,
you're at least 80% gay.
Yeah.
I'm still torn on this 80% score you've given it.
I still have that fear that like someday you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, sorry Ayla, like it's
Sorry,
too much.
I want a real
I'm gonna
man.
be with this girl and have kids.
I'm with a normal woman. I'm with a normal woman. I'm with my wife, and we are going to have kids, and we are going to have a family.
How are you gonna have kids? Where's the fetus gonna gestate? You're gonna keep it in a box? Sorry, I had to.
Did I ever imagine dating a trans person? No, because a woman's a woman to me. No one's ever suggested I was gay, not to my face anyway.
Yeah, because they don't want to get into a fight. Doesn't mean they don't think that.
You look like roided up.
Yeah, you look like the liver king.
Little man roided up
The
syndrome.
liver king.
But look at that.
I
The
remember
trans
the
woman
liver
is
king.
like bigger than him.
I
it
know,
looks like there.
I know. Look at the jaw structure for a second of the trans.
If you were to tell me that is a trans man, I'd almost believe you. Because that looks like, what's that trans man? That fucking, I forget their name. The popular one from LA that's like all manly and butch. But they've still got this voice, you know. I'm a super man.
I don't know.
You don't know that one?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I'm really out of the loop
they're
here.
funny.
There's not just biological men. There's also trans men or people who want to be masculine. So I think what's happening now is people are
I don't know
pushing
who that
against
guy is.
change because change is scary.
I'm such a manly man.
I'm super ethereal. I'm so manly. I mean it. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's see. How long
I'm
is
just going to
this?
put it out there.
24 minutes.
If you were to shave that dude's beard,
How is this so
the trans
long?
would still have a more prominent jawline than him. I think he's got a really round head.
No, I'm not attracted to men. I'm attracted to women. She's a woman, and that's it. I'm a straight
she's
guy.
not.
I never set out to date a trans person.
I always knew I was different to
You're
my
not a
brothers
woman.
growing up. My family knew that too. Growing up on Skye, I was homeschooled for primary school and I was very much allowed to just be myself. So it wasn't until I went to high school that things changed. I remember always kind of joking to my family that I'm a girl, but it sounds bad to say it, but I'm a girl, but I'm an ugly girl. I began my transition socially when I was 24, then surgically when I was 26.
I thought they said they hadn't had the twig and berry operation. I think they have.
Oh, did they?
Because, yeah, I'm using they pronouns. They pronouns are so fucking awkward.
They,
I don't want to
they
use
really
she
are.
because it's not a she, and I don't want to use he because it's disrespectful.
It?
Well, that's kind of like...
Derogatory.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It.
Some people actually use it, though. But, like, I guess I'll stick with they.
I was performing in drag for maybe a couple of years at that point.
What did I tell you? Looks like a drag queen.
Yeah.
That's where the inspirations come from. Like,
Yeah.
they look like a Priscilla Queen of the Desert fucking character.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I was performing in drag for maybe a couple of years at that point. This guy came up to me who I didn't know at the time was a trans guy. We had this instant connection and he was like, you should transition. You'd be so much happier. The next day I didn't take the drag off. I remember going out into public with my wig on and that was it. I was...
You should... So he was... Okay. So that's not a bad thing. Like, I wish they would just accept this shit, like Bering said.
Then I went to see my family on Skye, showing up as Ayla, and my mum was great about it, and my brother was fantastic. He was like, you know, what's wrong with her showing up as she is right now? I feel like I'd wasted so much time already trying to keep family happy that as soon as I made that decision, it was booking a surgery. That was it, I was off.
She didn't say anything about her dad then, did she?
No, she didn't mention her dad. Maybe her dad was, or maybe her dad's like not around anymore, or maybe yeah, he was like pissed off. But good on her. Good on. Oh, see, I used her. I'm progressive now.
Yay,
like live life how you want. That's cool.
Right.
But
Like, these are consenting adults. I nobody's put up the stretch thing, but I need to stretch. I am so stiff from the jumping jacks. Oh my god. Oh. Holy shit. I'm almost hoping nobody sends in anything to make me exercise because I'm stiff as fuck. Oh god, okay. Now, ow. Pop goes my joints. Yeah, like, but if they're consenting adults, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Like, I don't understand these people that are like, I'm not gay, but you must accept me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't understand the anger. Again, what is with the anger on this, with these people who are either trans or quote allies?
you're still gay.
My first surgery would have been 2018 and I had my face done for the first time. So I had like a wee jaw shave, I had my chin shaved, and my nose done. Then I had...
You've had your jaw shaved and your chin shaved and you still look like a masculine...
5 boob jobs, 2 facial surgeries, and then my reassignment surgery. I'll do my nose again, and I'll do my jaw again, and then my boobs again.
Why didn't you have the old voice box looked at?
Yeah, what do? They shave the voice box?
I don't know.
I've seen videos of transes who have had that done,
yeah,
and it still didn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it still doesn't make a difference, does it? Oh, it kind of does, but it sounds like they're talking like this.
Yeah, they're putting it
hi,
on. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Barina.
Hi, yeah. Hi.
Barina. I think it's also, excuse me. I believe it's also if you start taking estrogen, that it will also affect your voice.
I've got a pretty deep voice naturally.
I know. You'd be a good trans guy.
I would.
I'd be a shit trans woman, I think.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hi.
You wouldn't work very well.
I just feel like my natural self now.
Family has always been the one.
They can rent a womb. Each of them could be a dad. Yep. Fuck Angel.
One, and it doesn't make you feel great because you're so happy to finally be in a
I've never
normal
talked to Buck
relationship.
Angel.
It's not met by family with the same shared excitement.
Her voice is vibrating my seat through the
Yeah.
speakers. I just wanted to get my tits done.
Oh, fucking sugar tits.
My tits aren't big enough. Need to spend another $50,000 on my tits.
I'm finally a woman.
When you're getting outrageous titties like that, it starts to seem to me like it's a fetish. It's not
Yeah.
that you want to be a woman, that you want to be more feminine. Like you've got this idea in your head of
You want to be like a
Barbie.
sex robot.
Yeah,
like
plastic fucking sex Barbie robot.
Yeah, see, isn't it interesting? So I forget who said this, but with trans women, right? Isn't it interesting how most times when you see a trans woman, they've got like skimpy clothes on and
Yeah.
like they're full on like womanized and shit. They're not like you're wearing jeans and a jumper right now, you know.
Yeah.
You don't see them in like tracksuit pants, just wearing their fucking everyday shit, just
No.
out doing the shopping. It's always like a fucking mini skirt and a boob tube.
Yeah, the titties
Yeah.
are always out and prominent. And like,
Yeah, because they feel like they have to be like, look how much of a woman I am. Even though women are not always doing that. They're not always parading their assets. They're not like, today I felt like wearing a skirt. I don't often, this is my only skirt. I need to buy a couple more, but I like don't know where. But yeah, it's like they just act so fake. It's like that most women don't dress like that all the time.
Yeah.
cleavage.
So it's like they're attracted to this sexiness of a woman.
Yeah.
Like that's what they don't want to be a woman.
Yeah.
They want to be like a sex object.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of thing. It's been like that for a long time. Like I actually was around a few trans people when I was like young, when I was like in my teenage years, because my dad owned a hotel in the city.
Oh, a very drag queen area.
Yeah, in St Kilda. Yeah, well, there was trans people and there was drag queens, and some of them are really nice. There was like chefs at the hotel. Well, they called themselves. You don't give me that look.
Okay.
They called
You just
themselves.
correct me before to not say
But like they always did that fucking over the top woman look.
Friends like Thomas have usually fought with guys like David. Is the guy a chaser? Is he after you purely because you're trans?
Yes. Yes, he was on fucking Grindr or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
And
he was on Grindr, which means he's gay, but he's in denial about being gay. So he found you, which is you as a trans woman. So he was like, cool, this is how I can be gay without being gay.
Knew you were a trans woman.
Knew.
Well, he said he knew. So of course it's gay.
He probably just said he didn't know in the beginning to not hurt
As like
her
a
feelings.
compliment.
Yeah. It's
Oh
like,
wait,
wow,
you're a dude.
You have other
Yeah,
skirts,
shit.
but that's
Whoa.
the only
So,
non-slutty
Ivy-
one. I only have one other skirt, and yeah, it's pretty slutty.
What do you think?
Oh, sorry, two other skirts. One that's really slutty, and one that's like really long and lacy and kind of old lady like.
about me being a surgery-obsessed diva.
I've known you for
You
so
are.
many years, and I've seen how much you've grown with him.
Screaming.
I'm very much a little bit worried about how it could have a negative impact on the health further down the line there for you. I know the effect that people who are not as open-minded or as understanding of these things are just going to see visually and make a really negative and wrong visual assumption.
What do you mean a wrong visual assumption? Why else do you get the surgery other than the visual aspect?
Right.
I mean, I suppose, yeah, I just like had titty dysphoria. I needed to have big titties to feel like me. That would be a burden almost, wouldn't it? Like, of course it's a visual thing.
Yeah.
Do you have to get them serviced?
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you have to get them like pumped up or fucking like? Because isn't it gel or something?
Yeah, I think you have to get like follow-up surgeries every
Oh,
5
God.
years or something.
Yeah. So you had a friend who had titty implants, and she took them out because
Yeah.
they were a pain in the ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was money well spent.
Kayla's always been a very much the biggest personality in the room, but you don't see how much she's struggling and suffering with the recovery and the rehabilitation afterward, and how much it affects her mentally and physically.
Being the biggest personality in the room, that's all very well and good, but do I have the biggest boobs in the room? That's the real question, Ivy.
That's not important. And the fact that you think women think that, here's another thing about the way trans fucking women think women think. They think that all we care about is how big our tits are. And like how sexy we can be and how objectifiable we can be. What the fuck? Oh yeah. Yes, that one. But yeah, it's like these trans women fucking these are men. These are all fucking sexist men who transitioned into women and then took their sexism with them. And now they're like, I need to have the biggest boobs. I need to dress like a whore. I need to be a whore. And because that's how women are, and that's what real men want women to be. Like, fuck you. Get help. Holy shit.
Ivy.
Always have the biggest boobs in the room.
Yeah.
Fetish.
Yeah, it's a fetish. Of course it is.
No woman thinks like that.
Thank
Some do,
you.
Most don't.
Yeah.
Most normal women don't. You aren't completely egotistical, vain
Thank
bimbos.
you. Sugar
Yeah, anyway, I
tits.
think we're getting sidetracked by titties. This is all about the gay
If I walk
factor.
into a room and I don't have the biggest tits in that room, I feel bad about myself.
You always have the biggest boobs in the room, girl. You walk into a room and your boobs walk in 5 minutes before you do.
I lead with my chest, Ivy, and also my boobs.
I just don't.
Who is that friend they keep crossing to? That's the kind of friend that, like, I'm friends with her because it makes me look pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the trans equivalent.
Well, I hope that's a trans. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It definitely is.
You reckon?
Yes.
That could be an ugly chick.
No, it's the makeup. It's the trans makeup look.
Oh, it's
No,
the trans
the
makeup.
trans makeup.
Oh, it's like the big lips, the big fucking overly exaggerated lips.
It's the drawn on eyebrows. Like,
Right.
you notice they cover their eyebrows with makeup and then they
Yeah.
draw them on, like, to be really high arches.
Yeah, right.
They contour the shit out of their face to make it, like, shaped differently.
Yeah. Right.
And, yeah, the eyes. It's just too much eye fucking makeup. It's too much lips. It's just... That's tranny makeup.
That's true. I love how descriptive she was with that. That's like a perfect description. I know exactly how that makeup is applied.
That's right. That's drag queen makeup.
There's no Adam's apple though, but I think that's just because
It's covered in fat.
there's too much neck.
I just don't want you to have to feel like any problems can be fixed with surgery. You're such a beautiful woman. Inside and out.
It's
Oh
just
my God.
honest reflection on what an important person in Ella's life thinks.
The way I see these two together is perfect. It's beautiful. If I'm being real, I'm jealous. Their relationship is so beautiful. It really is. I'm still your man. It's such a supportive relationship. And within our community, that is so important that you have a rock and a guide and everything.
Thank you.
A guide and everything.
Wait a minute.
Our
That
community.
is the drag in the photo. That's her best friend.
That's her. Yeah.
Wait.
That's the
no,
guy who
it's
told her to
not.
transition.
It totally is.
It
Wait, let's have a
totally
look.
is. Sugar
Because
Tits
he
is
just
right.
said in our community. It is.
Yeah.
Mother approves.
She's right.
Mother approves. Mother approves.
Doing
She's
content
right.
with David. Honestly, it's one of those things I would want to show someone in the pub. Like, I'm so proud of it. I want everyone to see it, and I
See his red skin?
Yeah.
He looks like the Liver King. Here, I'll show you the Liver King.
He looks like a gay bear. I was on
I'm a
Twitter
gay
the other day.
bear.
Remember I showed you we were lying in bed at night, and I showed you that gay bear orgy came up on my feed.
What? Oh, you did too, yeah. On your Twitter. Someone
Why would
posted it on your fucking Twitter.
Do you remember when we were cuddling in bed and I was like, look at this gay bear orgy, honey? What the fuck? Oh, how to tell they're actually married.
Yeah, that was really cool. That
It was like 6 gay bear dudes, with like 2 of them getting their and the other one getting.
What the fuck?
I'm lying there watching a fucking Neanderthal documentary on Netflix. She goes, "Oh, here, look at this." I've rolled over thinking, "Oh, this should be interesting."
I didn't say, "Oh, here, look at
It's
this."
a fucking gay orgy. I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
No, I went, "Oh God, what is this doing on my timeline?"
No, you
Here,
didn't.
look
You
at
said-
this.
You said, "Look at this."
No, I didn't.
Hang on, Liver King. You see what I mean?
Oh.
That's him with the. That's him with
liver.
liver. Hang on. He eats balls. You've never heard of the Liver King?
How have you never
He
heard
eats
of
nuts,
the Liver
like
King sugar
just
tits?
all out, like.
So why isn't he the ball king?
Hang on, we have to watch this video.
I thought like it was like
Okay, no, this is... Do we want to see Sugar Tits react to this?
processed balls.
Well, it is balls. Hang
Yeah,
on.
and the bowl there, and all the cum had come out of the balls.
I don't think it's cum. I think it's just milk.
That's
Hang
fucked.
on. Liver King testicles.
Oh, Barry,
I don't
no.
wanna see this.
No, you're watching it.
We like to have our bowl of cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm fresh milk from Liver King Ranch. The most feared warriors, the Maasai.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Doesn't he look like the Cowardly Lion as well?
He does.
Thank you for
Yeah.
stopping that.
But you see what I'm saying? He's got that red, jacked up, roided up sort of fucking look.
And they've always got their chests shaved, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
they've been in a tanning bed for too long.
Yeah.
Gross.
Anyway, let's finish this up. Home stretch. Let's go.
Reasons that this relationship works for me is because everything that I've ever looked for is in it. Nothing's forced, nothing's tried.
Wow, look at those fingernails.
I don't understand it. It's so impractical.
I know.
What can you do?
I saw a video of a
Nothing.
chick trying to get her credit card out of or her ATM card out of the ATM the other day.
With
trying
long
to pinch her
nails.
card, and she couldn't get it. And how do you wipe your ass?
Oh! God damn it, Bering. Why do you gotta be so...
I can be completely myself.
I'm forever like grateful to David. He's given me like normal things I always dreamed of, but like never thought that I would ever get.
All right, no, that's 100% gay.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can be completely yourself, which is gay.
Gay.
Yep. Gay. I agree. Very gay. Very, very gay. Holy shit. Bering and Sugar Tits are always fun to watch together, though. They're fun to take a listen to once in a while. I like listening to the way they interact with each other. It always makes me laugh. It always makes me laugh when I hear them talk to each other, because you can totally tell that they're married, but you can totally tell that they love each other, and it's great. It's great to listen to. All right, so there's a channel that Pink Hollow sent me called Dr. Optagon, and this is called What is Blindness? And it's a 5-minute video. So let's just take a listen to what he has to say.
Hey everybody, you all know I like to dress up as different specialties in medicine, but I am actually a board certified ophthalmologist, and I want to talk about something very important for a few minutes: blindness. If you ask 10 people to give the definition for blindness, you're going to get 10 different answers.
Yep.
And I would guess a lot of people think that being blind means you just don't see anything, just black. And that is rarely the case. Blindness is a spectrum, and I want to explain what we mean when we say that. There are two main parameters we use to assess visual function. There's your visual acuity, that's your ability to look across a room and read the letters on the chart. Then there's also your visual field, which is your peripheral vision all around you. Let's start with visual acuity. In the US, we consider perfect vision to be 20/20. If you have 20/40 vision, that means that what you can see at 20 feet, someone with perfect vision can see at 40 feet. So they can move back 20 feet and still see the same thing you're seeing.
Right.
If you have 2200 vision, that means that what you can see at 20 feet, someone with perfect vision can see at 200 feet. They can go way back and still see it.
So that's what legal blindness is, 2200. So about 85% of the visually impaired people, or the quote blind people, have 2200 vision. So when somebody says that they're blind, and like it's that they have like they still have light perception, they are legally blind, they can't drive, they like all that, by law they are blind. People like me make up 10 to 15% of the blind population. People like me being totally blind. People like me, meaning people like me with prosthetics, make up about 5% of the 10 to 15% of the totally blind people.
Now, the largest letter on the chart, that's usually about 2200. But some people don't even have that level of vision. They can only see finger counting or hand motion, or some people have what we call light perception vision, where all they can see is light coming from different directions.
Yeah.
All of that is still useful vision. Mm-hmm. Even if you can only see a hand moving in front of your face, you can still see that somebody is standing in front of you.
That's why I get frustrated with some of the legally blind people that say that they don't bother explaining that to sighted people, and they've said because sighted people just don't get it, and they think that sighted people are just too stupid to get it, and that makes it harder for people like me, because people with who are 2200 vision, if you say I will hammer this point home. Say there's a job interview and there's a 2200 candidate and there's a 0% vision candidate. Equally, both of them have the equal credentials, equal education, equal job experience. The employer is going to take the person with usable vision every single time. It doesn't matter. Even if the totally blind person is more qualified. Even if the totally blind person is more qualified than the person with 2200 vision, the person with 2200 vision will be hired, because that person will need less accommodation in the employer's eyes, which will cost the employer less money. Therefore, people with 2200 vision, although they still have to live on disability, they have more of a chance of getting a part-time job and earning extra money. That's what, and they don't think about that. They don't think about that at all. They just get stuck on, sighted people are stupid, and they don't understand the difference between legally blind and totally blind. So I just say I'm totally blind. It's just like, well, you're not. You're fucking not totally blind. Stop saying that.
Or an object is off to the side. You may not be able to tell what that object is, but you know something's there. Or you can tell where light is coming from, and that can help you navigate the world. So clearly there's a range of visual acuity. So what's the definition of blindness? Well, it depends on who you ask and what kind of activities you're doing. Let's take driving, for example. Most states require you to have at least one eye that sees 20/40 vision in order to qualify for an unrestricted driver's license.
My grandfather is one of those people. He's blind in his right, I think it's his right eye. and he only can see out of his left eye. So, but he can still drive.
So if you have 20/80 vision in both eyes, are you considered blind? Well,
No.
according to the Department of Transportation, yeah, I guess so. But people with 20/80 vision often can navigate the world just fine. They can perform their normal daily activities and take care of themselves and do things they like to do without much difficulty. People with hand motion vision, well, they have a different definition of blindness because they certainly need help crossing a busy road, whether it's a guide dog or a white cane or someone helping them. But they can have conversations with people. They can know you're sitting in front of them. They can look you right in the eye and talk to you. And that's a level of function that's slightly different, but maybe they're considered blind as well. Then there's peripheral vision. So we have a way of measuring this in the eye clinic. We put your head in like this bowl thing, and you hit a button when you see a light, and it maps out your visual field. So this is an example of the readout we get. Don't worry about all the numbers and stuff. Basically, white space means you saw the thing. So that big black spot right there, that's your physiologic blind spot. We all have that. We don't see it, though. Our brain just filters that out. This is the peripheral vision of someone with glaucoma. So you see all that black space. So this is the person's left eye. And basically what that shows is they cannot see from like midline up. They don't have any superior vision out of that left eye due to a disease called glaucoma. And this is the peripheral vision of someone who's had a stroke. So this is both eyes, left and right. And this person has lost all their vision on the left side. They don't have any vision to the left.
At all. Yeah.
This is someone who does not qualify for a driver's license because almost all states require you to have a certain amount of degrees of visual field.
Right.
But this person can't see anything to the left. They might actually have 20/20 perfect vision straight ahead, but they have no vision to the left. You can imagine how dangerous that would be, not being able to see anything coming off to that side.
Yeah, that would be fucking death. Like, if you've got somebody turning at you, that would be... They can tell the difference between day and night. Yeah, that too. They can tell the difference between day and night and get proper goddamn sleep, for Christ's sake.
So these are often very difficult conversations we have with people.
And not be depressed.
Would this person be considered blind? Well, they are severely limited. This is a major change to their lifestyle, for sometimes for their ability to function, especially if they live alone. So this can turn someone's world upside down. Then there's a person like this who only has a very central small island of vision
Tunnel
left.
vision.
They have some disease. There's several diseases that do this, that can just take out all of your peripheral vision.
I knew
This
somebody
patient
with tunnel
has
vision
no
at summer
peripheral
camp.
vision. Just all they see is a really small island right in the center. So they might read 20/20 on the chart, 20/15 on the chart, but their function is severely limited by their lack of peripheral vision. Is this person blind? Does this person consider themselves blind? The point is, vision is complex. It is incredibly important to everything we do, and there's no one definition of blindness. It affects different people in wildly different ways. Blindness is a spectrum.
So that was a kind of an interesting video. It always gets me kind of riled up because I do like to point out the difference between legally blind and totally blind. And I never say that people with legal blindness don't face challenges, because they do. But their challenges are vastly different from somebody like me, who has zero vision at all. And it's just very frustrating when legally blind people just lump themselves in with the very small group of totally blind people because they feel that sighted people can't understand the difference, which is not true. Sighted people are not stupid. The vast majority of sighted people will take the time to understand it. And it's not that difficult to understand. And it doesn't take that long. That video took 5 minutes to explain the difference, like the different spectrums, right? You could probably sum up your type of visual acuity in like a 30-second blurb, and most sighted people would understand it. Like, honestly, sighted people will probably understand your visual problem way more than they understand my lack of vision. Because trying to understand what I don't see to sighted people is like you guys trying to explain what it looks like to look at stuff to me. Right? It's fucking impossible for me to be like, hey, describe what it looks like to look at the sunset for you without using visual terminology. You can't do it. Shadow blindness is an oxymoron, by the way. Yep. Because shadows are dark spots anyways, aren't they? But it's like, to sit there and think that a sighted person wouldn't understand, like, I can't see out of the corners of my eyes, or I can only see pinpricks in the center of my eye. They would be able to understand that more than I see absolutely nothing. My eyes are disconnected from my brain. I don't see it all. They can't understand that because it's beyond their experience. So for legally blind people to sit there and not take the time to explain that they are not totally blind to sighted people because they think sighted people are stupid is rude, and it's lazy, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. It pisses me off. Anyway. We got one more video to watch before question period. And it is called Fans Want a VTuber. Fans want to unalive VTuber over McDonald's order.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be looking at two sets of agency-related VTuber drama, one featuring Niji Sanji and one featuring Hololive. So we're going to begin with
Hololive.
This VTuber from Holostars Japan named Astle. Now, this Japanese VTuber is under attack from not only Japanese-speaking fans, but also English-speaking fans who feel betrayed after one of his recent tweets. Some people who have been longtime supporters for years have completely dropped their support because of these recent actions. So you're thinking to yourself, it must be really serious. What did he do? He ordered McDonald's. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the crime that caused people to completely switch up on him.
How dare
Ordering
he order McDonald's?
Here is the tweet in question, translated from Japanese. It says, "Oh no, I made a mistake with my order and got 3 large McDonald's fries." This is what started a recent campaign to try to cancel him. So here's one tweet that is representative of a lot of other replies and quotes on his main tweet saying, "Mr. Astle, I hope you'll take your time to read this." And this is a boycott list. Now, people believe that supporting these various companies supports Israel. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the conflict between Israel and Palestinians. And people believe that if you support some of these companies listed here on this boycott list, you are literally harming Palestinians as a result. Now, one of the companies listed is of course, McDonald's.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So because he ordered from McDonald's and McDonald's is supposedly in support of Israel. Oh my Jesus Christ.
Also listed is Google, by the way. So if you see anyone who is complaining about this video and saying that I'm supporting some kind of evil company like McDonald's, they are doing the same by watching this video, because watching this video supports Google, which is also on this boycott list.
How many pro-Palestinian YouTubers are pushing this boycott and not looking at the list to understand that YouTube is on the list?
Now, if this whole situation sounds very familiar, well, it's because it is. because about a month or two ago, Scarlet from Niji Sanji En was canceled for very similar reasons. She had a stream where she was going to try every cake at Starbucks Japan, and as you can see, people immediately, as soon as the stream started, they started attacking her on Twitter and in the replies of her stream, trying to confront her about this, saying she was supporting Israel and all these things.
You're supporting Israel by eating cake from a coffee shop, you horrible bitch! How dare you!
And at first she resisted, but eventually after enough people ganged up on her, she would apologize and claim that she would never do this again. Now, returning to Astel's tweet, here's just a small sample size of the replies under that tweet. Everyone's sharing this boycott list, trying to say that he is doing something wrong by ordering McDonald's. Now, you can see two quotes here back to back, and I think it really sums up both sides of this situation. So here's one user in the quote saying, "You can't just ignore this because he's your fave or just doesn't know. At this stage, after months of spreading awareness, posting about buying boycotted stuff is just publicly saying which side you support. No need to immediate bashing, but at least more should say something."
You know, watching this is making me want McDonald's now just for the fucking principle of the thing.
So this user claims that ordering McDonald's is literally picking a side in this situation, and also claiming that, you know, you don't know about this boycott is not a valid excuse. I know a lot of people watching this video, and feel free to share your thoughts. I know a lot of people who are just not aware of this stuff. Okay, this is a very deep social media thing. A lot of people just aren't aware of it. Like Scarlet was not aware of it when she got confronted in her stream. Now, here's another reply saying basically the opposite, saying, "I am guaranteed to be blocked by Astel, even though this comment is in support of him, but please stop bugging hollow talents or anyone to support causes that they're not supposed to support. They are there to entertain you, not to remind you of terrible things in this world." Wow.
You're watching gameplay and VTuber shit. Why are you like, let's keep remember, like, it's supposed to be an escape time. Why does everything have to always be reminding us of what's going on?
That seems so rational. It seems like a healthy way to view content creators. But moving on, there would be one hidden reply on Astel's tweet, and it's this: curiously, tagging VTuber Cringe. So apparently there's an issue with VTuber Cringe in this situation being tagged, which is very unusual because VTuber Cringe, aka Curry Renji, he covers VTuber drama just like I do on this channel, and he would be keeping tabs on a lot of the people who are posting about this situation, sharing this selection of screenshots saying, "I'm looking forward to the post removal." So this individual says, context, original poster was blocked by Astel for telling him about Palestine and the BDS movement. So you have this individual with basically a keyboard smash of random letters as a handle saying, "I didn't know how to reach him, so I tried DMing him about the matter," and eventually they would get blocked for trying to quote-unquote educate Astel on this situation.
But you don't need to fucking go into somebody's DMs and just dump a whole bunch of shit about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Like, not everybody is a political content creator. Not everybody's fucking Destiny. Okay? Not everybody wants to talk about that and deal with that shit. Alright? Like, holy shit, he's a VTuber.
Here's some of their tweets saying, "Hello everyone, I made this account to stay anonymous and to speak up about a certain matter. Keep in mind that I'm not here to spread hate, but to bring awareness. I have been a fan of Hollowstar, specifically Astel Leda, for 3 years. Astel is an amazing content creator and he's been nothing but my happiness for 3 years. However, Astel recently posted about McDonald's has me disappointed immensely." Yeah, when you talk about unstable people, this is what they look like, okay? Imagine enjoying and supporting someone for 3 full years. And all it takes for you to drop your support is that they ordered McDonald's.
Hey, I had a lot of people drop support because I got an OnlyFans page to put modeling photos up. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, Blind Press is doing porn! Her poor children! What is going to happen now? I'm not going to interact with her." That happened like that. A lot of people did that. It was kind of sad.
They ordered fries, and you've withdrawn your support. Imagine walking on eggshells trying to be a friend of someone like this. God forbid one day you go out and you do a no-no, some sort of bad thing in the minds of these people, and you are just dropped. Completely dropped. And also, the idea that they need to stay anonymous and that they're censoring words like McDonald's, like, don't you actually believe in this stuff enough to, like, say it on your main account? Like, do you actually believe that much if you're going to be hiding behind anonymous accounts? But anyways, you'll see the reply saying, as you can see, I've been blocked after sending him the DM. I can't believe a Hollow Stars member would block a random person, like I said, with a keyboard smash collection of letters as a handle, trying to educate them on this situation. I can't believe they would block you for this.
No, that totally doesn't look like a bot and a troll account doing the whole, like, random letters and numbers crap.
But anyways, they say, I don't hope to seek Astel's attention. I just want him to listen to me as a fan, to educate himself about the issue, and be mindful in his future purchases. And we can't stay ignorant just because it's not our problem. This lacks sympathy, and that shouldn't be how humanity works. If Astel himself doesn't care about Palestinian people, why would he care about his fans? What if there are Palestinian people in his community? Nevertheless, I look forward to the post removal. He's my favorite creator, and I don't want to dislike him. They are expecting him to remove the post, which has not happened yet, by the way.
But you know what? I don't think he wants you to like him if you're going to be this crazy over McDonald's fries.
Moving on, we'd see people like this, right? This individual right here sharing the boycott list underneath the tweet. We've seen people like this exact person, do very similar actions with Vanta from Niji Sanjian, saying, damn, Vanta looking hella attractive right now, not gonna lie, gonna give him a follow for apologizing in this situation. Well, what was going on here? Well, you can see this is his account, Niji Sanjian, and recently he commented about 2 months ago under a post sharing something from Starbucks, where a user said, whoa, hang on there, Vanta. They're on the boycott list, where he said, I apologize for my ignorance. Thank you for informing me.
You can't have Starbucks, you horrible man. They support Israel. And Israel just, oh my God, these people. You know what? Go fight in the war. If you're so upset about how Israel is treating the Gaza Strip, fucking go volunteer to help the Palestinians. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
Well, you've been educated. Good for you. But anyways, I saw his schedule this week. Can someone please confirm where this burger's coming from? I hope it's not McDonald's. Can we get a fact check? Can we double check this to make sure he's not violating any boycotts with this burger? Anyways, going back to Curry Renji here saying, Dear Cover Management, did you know one of your talents bought a McDonald's meal and is literally supporting genocide? So here we have a string of tweets from this individual saying, ultimately, in the end, let us write a report to cover. I know I'm still emotionally unstable from this, but the best way to address complaints have always been the same, isn't it? Okay, so what they're saying here is that basically they can't get Astel to pay attention to them. So now they're going to report Astel to Cover Corp with...
That's insane. He's not listening to me about why he shouldn't be ordering fries from McDonald's. So let's report him to the people who are responsible for his job.
The intention of him being punished or possibly removed. All over ordering fries from McDonald's. This person is saying that they are emotionally unstable right now because a Japanese man ordered fries from a fast food restaurant. And these people want to tell you they're the normal ones. They're the normal people in this situation. Here's more replies saying, even if there is no response, maybe I can consolidate my feelings with it. If there is no change, I will pack up my stuff and go, I guess. And here's another follow-up saying, for those who keep saying email and cover is the better option, no, it's not that much better. We can try and be met with silence. If we want to adamant change, we need to stop being so scared about putting ourselves out there and have our voices heard.
What do you plan on doing? Putting ourselves out there? What do you mean by that? Are you Are you gonna go to Japan and like protest outside his house? Like,
and here's another one saying the only reason why they address past issues like dropping an entire CN branch, taking down the video which was insensitive humor, was because of countless public comments about it. I'm not saying to go attack Astle, but at least they will tread carefully from now on. And now we're going to move on from that Hollow Star situation back to Niji Sanji. Now, I talked about this tweet from yesterday and yesterday's video saying, wow, what is Niji Sanji up to here? They posted a random gate. Is this a cemetery gate? Talking about or referring to the tough times they've had recently? No. As I said, this is likely an invitation to a new generation that is coming. But people also pointed out yesterday that this is literally stock art that they just crudely slapped a Niji Sanji Ian logo onto, which is a whole nother thing. But yes, as it turns out, there is a new generation coming to Niji Sanji Ian. 3 new members are on the way. And more like VTubers. I said in yesterday's video, good luck to them. Okay, they are going to be under some immense scrutiny joining Niji Sanji Ian right now. This is the worst time to join this agency. It doesn't diminish their accomplishments as to getting into this agency, but man, it's going to be a tough road, and I'm telling you, it's already showing. Already, within hours, there's already controversy involving this new lineup, and I will confirm this, and I will do some research into this, but there are already claims today that one of these members comes from a problematic previous account that was basically disgraced. They were identified as a potential scammer, and they were pretty much forced to quit. They were...
Oh, good! How do you accidentally rehire a previously scammy account?
A disgraced former account. And again, we're going to do more research. Not going to make any claims here until we know something. But clearly there's a lot of people starting to dig into these new members. And it's already turning into a PR nightmare. And I really just... I can't believe how bad things are going. And they just keep getting worse and worse. Now, another consistent... More consistent than Niji Sanji getting into drama is Gargura dropping a bomb as soon as Niji Sanji tries to do anything. It can't be a coincidence at this point. Every single time Niji Sanji tries to do something productive with their organization, within hours, Gargura is there. The tactical Gura deployment is launched, and she makes some sort of big announcement tweet. And she did that yesterday, about 4 hours after the new lineup was announced. Gargura makes this tweet saying, would you look at the time? And a lot of people know this can't be a coincidence at this point. It's happened 4 or 5 times, and it's really, really funny. And yeah, they really just can't beat her at this point. She's quite single-handedly causing a great deal of damage to Niji Sanji by just existing and making content. But for now, that is the situation involving Niji Sanji and Hololive as well. And that is going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Oh man, that was interesting. I can't believe that this is happening. Like, honestly, that made me want some chicken nuggets and french fries from McDonald's just as a goddamn principle. Because that's just so stupid. Like, it's so stupid. I can't even believe how ridiculous these people are getting. And they'll never go and actually fight. They'll just bitch and whine and not do anything. And everything will just continue. And nothing will change. Alright, it's time for question period, but I'm going to quickly run to the washroom first, so I'm going to mute, hit the be right back screen, and I will join you back in a couple of minutes. So if you have to go to the bathroom, refill your stuff, go do that, and also share out the stream. Let's get some people in here for question period. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get ready for question period. Because they're back after taking a whole freaking week off before the long weekend. So, we're back here with our illustrious politicians in the House of Commons. Let's get ready for this. Live scene is ready. Here we go.
Oral questions.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Oh, good, it's the robot
After 9 years of this Prime Minister, they're not worth the cost. Taxes and inflationary deficits are piling up, and even worse, the Bloc and the Liberals want to radically hike taxes on gasoline and diesel. When 25 countries have cut gas taxes and Western provinces have cut tax and were able to bring down prices at the pumps and lower inflation in terms of other provinces, how come the PM cannot follow my common sense plan to eliminate taxes until Labor Day? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Mr. Speaker. I'm so happy that the Conservative leader raised the question of inflation because
it's down to 2.something%.
Because it gives me the opportunity today to share great news with Canadians. It's that our inflation rate dropped to 2.7%.
That's it.
This is the lowest level in 3 years. And it's thanks
And
to our...
And who drove it up that high in the first place? Pinkalo says, I mean, I don't need McDonald's because my body hates it. But this is making me want to go get a Big Mac. Right? I want fucking chicken nuggets and a big fry. Like, just out of principle. You know what I mean?
Our responsible plan for the budget. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Learned the terrible news that inflation is 35% above target. Again, after 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost of debt interest. And they can't do basic math over there. The 0.7 is actually a third higher than the 2% target. They're patting themselves on the back when they realize that Canadians can't afford to eat, heat, and house themselves. So why don't they, instead of quadrupling the carbon tax on the backs of Canadians, why don't they follow our common sense plan to suspend all gas and diesel tax until Labor Day?
Because, Mr. Speaker, while the Conservatives want to suspend the carbon tax, the country is burning, Mr. Speaker, and they don't care about climate change at all, Mr. Speaker, because they don't want to throw money at the fire. Because unlike us, Mr. Speaker, they think water destroys fire, Mr. Speaker, not money. Those silly science-denying Conservatives. Let's see how close I am.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader has quite proudly and publicly called for the Governor of the Bank of Canada to be fired. But maybe it's the Conservative leader who should lose his job because he just revealed his astonishing ignorance of the Bank of Canada's inflation target. The Bank of Canada has a target of between 1% and 3%.
Wow. Okay. We have a target of between 1% and 3%. So just because we drove inflation up super high, we should aim for the middle of the road, Mr. Speaker, at a time when Canadians are struggling. Wow.
4 months in a row, inflation
mediocrity.
in Canada has been within that target.
Mediocrity at its best.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The minister doesn't even know that the target is 2%, and perhaps one of the reasons why she's missing the target because she doesn't know what it is. It's the same thing with interest rates that we're paying on national debt. They've said that doubling national debt is an issue because the interest rates were so low. That's why I suggested setting the rate with 10 or 30 years with bond rates when the rates were so low, like we do with mortgages. But the incompetent minister did not do this, and now we're going to pay more interest on the $400 billion that will be renewed this year. Why?
This TikTok clip, the TikTok clip that you played last night, Pinkalo, this is from yesterday.
The Honourable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that
Mr. Speaker, the reality is that
Conservative
I don't know
leader
what the fuck
is
I'm
very
doing.
incompetent. The only thing that he plans to do rather, is to criticize Canada and Canadians.
No, he's not criticizing Canada and Canadians. He's criticizing you and your government. There is a large, vast difference, my dear. You
to criticize our wonderful country. The reality,
it's not a wonderful
is
country
that
right
the
now.
inflation rate is down to 2.7%. This is very successful for our country, and all members should be happy with this. Thank you.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It's funny because she's a journalist but cannot write or speak anything, or write anything that makes fucking sense. Nope. No, she
Not
cannot.
only does the incompetent finance minister not know the inflation target, she doesn't know that you lock in low rates when you have the chance. Remember when the Prime Minister was saying, don't worry, we can double the national debt because interest rates are low. Glenn, problem is, I told him at the time that they should lock in those rates for 10 years or 30 years with long-term bonds. It turns out they didn't do that, and now $400 billion of that debt will roll over into these higher rates, forcing Canadians to spend more on interest than on health care. Why did he hire the worst mortgage broker in the world to be our finance minister?
God damn. God damn.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
And he didn't get sanctioned for that. Oh, good job. Good.
Mr. Speaker, it's clear that the Conservative leader is in a grouchy mood today. And
such a wonderful country that we are the laughingstock of most of the fucking world. Yep. Just because of this government.
Is in a grouchy mood today.
Oh, he's in a grouchy mood. What the fuck are you, a mom? Are you in mom mode now, Christia?
I think we all know why. The only thing he knows how to do is talk down Canada. And what he just cannot bear.
The only thing you guys know how to do is burn down Canada.
Is the reality that thanks to our fiscally responsible economic plan, inflation is at a 3-year
A fucking
low.
fiscally responsible.
Inflation has been for 4 months in a row. That's good news for Canada and Canadians.
Sure it is.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Think that you pay down debt by borrowing more, that you stop inflation by printing money, and that you fight the drug overdose crisis by legalizing hard drugs. So at least they're consistent in their irrationality, Mr. Speaker. But now they've been forced to backtrack right before the election on their legalization of hard drugs because Canadians are revolting against the policy. Today we have a motion that will be voted in the House to permanently ban hard drugs. Will this government vote for that motion, or will they admit that they plan to legalize drugs again after the next election?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is wearing more makeup than I am today.
What the fuck? What the fuck does that? What the to hear that again, because I don't think I heard that correctly. Because that had nothing to do with the question.
Mr. Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is wearing more makeup than I am today.
Yeah, okay, she did say that. I think America is right up there with the laughter at the moment right now. You're not wrong. We're not doing very well, either one of us. But holy fuck, I can't believe let's hear what she has to continue on saying.
Now, I think it's wonderful.
I'm going to ask colleagues.
No. She's going for a personal attack. She was going to say, now, I think it's wonderful that he's coming. Like, she was going to make a gay joke. She was going to make a gay joke about Polyev. You need to fucking call her out on that, Fergus. Call her out.
Order.
No, fuck you. Call her out.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance to withdraw that comment. We don't comment on the appearances of members.
Ha ha!
Deputy Prime.
Fuck you. Good. Finally, Fergus. Finally, Fergus. Fuck. Do your job.
Minister and the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, I withdraw that comment.
Good.
Can continue with her. She has 25 seconds left on the clock for her answer.
I don't have an answer. I was only gonna insult him, Mr. Speaker. I don't actually have an answer for you because I don't ever have an answer. So now that you've made me withdraw my insult, I don't know what to say.
The fact is, Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is phony all the way through. He is phony.
Oh, I see
when
the
it comes to
racism
his
and
concern
homophobia
about
of the Liberal
economy.
Party
All he
is
can do
showing
is
in its
talk our
face.
country
Yep.
down. And he is phony when he talks about his concern about the opioids crisis. He tries to score cheap partisan points. It's just not right, Mr. Speaker. That's right.
The Honourable Members for Saint-Jean. It looks like the Liberals have just discovered they're sensitive to the Francophonie cause. The Association Parlementaire de la Francophonie had 18 Liberals in 2021, 11 in 2022, and 22 in 2023. And then since last week, a sudden realization there are no fewer than 112 members of the Liberal caucus that are now members of the APF.
Holy shit!
Congratulations, Files, thank you. What an extraordinary commitment to the French language.
That's fucking transparent. Holy shit. Wow. I know how we'll get the French vote. All of us, quick, join the ASP. Or the ASF. Oh, Jesus Christ. Join the APF. That's what it's called. The Association Parlementaire Francophonie. The APF. Quick. All of us join the APF. Quickly. That'll buy the French vote.
But can we find out what the Liberals' priority issue is at the APF that explains this sudden commitment on their part? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I would truly like to thank the member across the way for her question.
I bet you would.
Because our government, and myself personally, understand...
Did you join, Christia? You with your horrible French?
That the French has taken a step back in Montreal, in Quebec, and across the country. But I have to tell the member that I don't find this situation funny. It's not a joke.
Oh, this situation's not funny, but when Polyev asks you about fucking drugs, you're gonna laugh, make fun of his oh, okay. All right.
The Quebec
got
nation is so important
You're,
for us.
You're a...
As is the French language.
Jesus Christ.
The honourable member for Saint-Jean. If they didn't decide to stack the APF, it's not because they've had a sudden epiphany and they realize that French is under threat in Quebec and Canada and around the world. No, they signed up because nothing is more important to a liberal than another liberal. Mm-hmm. They have to stick together. They're there because they need to stave their friend from Glengarry, Prescott, Russell, and then we'll never see them again. It might be a good idea for this government to work in the interests of the French language as hard as it works in the interests of the liberals.
Fuck.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister
God
of Finance.
Damn.
Mr. Speaker, the French language in Montreal, in Quebec, and across Canada is very important for our government. We understand that there has been a decline in French, and we are going to always support
She
the
says
French
in
language
the most broken French you
and
could
Quebec
ever
culture
imagine.
and French culture across Canada.
The honourable member from Burnaby South.
Oh boy. Let's hear how fractured the coalition's getting.
The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is seeking arrest warrants against 5 senior Hamas and Israeli leaders. This is a step towards justice for Palestinians and Israeli victims of war crimes. And the Liberals promised to support the ICC when they voted for our motion in March. So will the Prime Minister and the Liberal government state clearly that Canada supports the ICC's work to hold all those responsible for crimes accountable?
What kind of a
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Canada
French is the
respects
language
the
of
independence
subhuman.
of the International Criminal Court. Canada condemns the terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel on
Does
October
it?
7th.
Are you sure?
Canada calls for an immediate ceasefire and deplores the humanitarian tragedy. And Canada believes it is absolutely wrong to equate the terrorist leaders of Hamas with Israel.
What? What did she just say?
The terrorist leaders of Hamas with Israel.
Then I have...
Hamas is Palestine, you dumb bitch. Nobody associates Hamas with Israel. They associate it with fucking Palestine. What the fuck do you mean associates Hamas with Israel?
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
And that was not the subject of the arrest warrant.
The chief prosecutor of the ICC has requested arrest warrants for 5 senior Israeli and Hamas officials. This is an important step towards justice for Palestinian and Israeli victims. Can the Prime Minister clearly state that Canada will support the work of the ICC?
Huh? Right, Pincolo?
To hold all those responsible for crimes accountable.
I mean, if she had said if you think of Hezbollah with Israel, then I would have understood. But nobody thinks Hamas. Oh, Israel. No. What the fuck, Christopher Freeland?
Then I have
the Honourable Deputy
and
Prime
nobody
Minister,
is
Minister of
correcting
Finance.
her.
Mr. Speaker, Canada respects the independence of the International Criminal Court. Canada condemns the October 7 attack, which was a terrorist attack. Canada is calling for an immediate ceasefire, and Canada says that it is not right to equate the Hamas terrorist leader and Israel.
You said it again! Nobody... What? You were a journalist! You were a journalist! No, what? Nobody equates the leader of Hamas with Israel. It's Hezbollah in Israel.
Honourable member from Regina Capel.
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal government, it is clear the Prime Minister is not worth the cost of fuel. Most Canadian families will struggle just to be able to afford their yearly summer road trip. That's because his carbon tax has helped push the cost of fuel up to record highs.
Yep.
Now, Conservatives have called for a common sense plan to axe the carbon tax and all federal taxes from fuel from now until Labor Day. That would save about 35 cents a litre.
That would be amazing for people like Pinkalo, who fill their gas tank every day. Okay, dumb bitch, go tell Hamas that. Oh, right, they won't listen. Right? Exactly.
Will the government adopt our common sense plan so Canadians can afford their summer road trip?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I'm so glad that the Conservatives are raising questions about the cost of living and the lives of Canadians, because it gives me an opportunity to point out that inflation in April was 2.7%.
Okay.
That is the
Somebody fucking donate for a bottle of alcohol. This is I'm getting pissed off with this bitch. Oh.
That inflation has been within the Bank of Canada's target range, and for 15 months now, Mr. Speaker, wage increases have been outpacing inflation. That helps.
If we didn't have inflation, we shouldn't have to have wage increases, you horrible, horrible, horrible finance minister.
The Honourable Member from Regina Capel.
That's the Liberal message, that Canadians have never had it so good. The carbon tax is failing, except at driving up the cost of everything. Actually, the government is succeeding very, very well at driving up the cost of groceries, home heating, and of course, fuel. The carbon tax is sending...
20 cents between a difference between the... I don't think just a bottle will help. It's a start. It's a start.
Millions of Canadians to the food bank for the first time, and it's pushing the cost of simple things like driving to your favorite family vacation spot out of the reach of hardworking Canadians. While the Prime Minister gets to stick Canadian taxpayers with the bill for his exotic vacations, Canadians are struggling just to scrape enough to take their family on a trip. Why won't they adopt our plan and take the tax off of fuel for the summer?
No, he doesn't think that Canadians deserve a vacation. See, he thinks that he deserves a vacation, but the rest of us can get fucked. That's what he thinks. I'm just gonna quickly take a second to check Twitch chat. Okay. Why did somebody call me a Nigerian? I don't look Nigerian. That's weird. Anyway.
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would encourage my honourable friend to actually read the work that was done by 300 economists across this country, which says unequivocally that 8 out of 10 Canadian families get more money back in the rebate than they actually pay in the price on pollution. That is addressing affordability, and in fact, Premier Smith herself said she got more money back for her family than she paid. If he really is concerned about affordability, though, I would encourage him to go to talk to his friend Premier Smith, who just increased the price, the gas price, by 13 cents.
He had to.
With no rebate and no accounting for affordability.
Why are you yelling? Why does that guy always have to, force his voice to sound so angry?
The Honourable Member from Lakeland.
After 9 years, Canadians can't afford the costly coalition's carbon tax, but this Prime Minister doesn't care. He'll quadruple it, even though 70% of Canadians and 7 out of 10 premiers told him to spike the hike. Now, Conservatives' common sense plan is to axe all federal taxes on gas until Labor Day to save Canadians 35 cents a litre. That's more than $955 of needed savings for Alberta families alone. Will the Prime Minister axe the tax on gas this summer so Canadians can afford the basics and maybe even a Canadian road trip staycation?
Yeah, no, but they're not allowed. Like I said, not allowed.
The The Honourable Minister of Natural Resources and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And I only need just a bottle, Cannibalistic Wizard, because it's been like literal months since I've drank anything. So if I get like a $30 bottle of wine, I'll be full. Because I like to get one of the I like to get the Spanish or the Chilean wines. And I really like the Chilean wine because it's got that volcanic ash taste. Argentinian wine is too acidic though. It's weird. It's same volcanic soil, but it's just too
Conservatives' lack of common sense approach to these things is about axing the facts. Every reasonable observer, 300 economists across this country, the parliamentary budget officer, are very clear. 8 out of 10 Canadian families get...
what's he called? He's speeding through the script and using the same logic from 4 years ago. Or the same tip from 4 years ago. Because beta bitches have to make their voices heard. But rather than just speaking and being heard. Yep.
Get more money back, and it's those that live on modest incomes that actually do the best. All the while fighting climate change. If they have questions, I encourage them to go and talk to the Premier of their province of Alberta about the fact that she gets more money back than she actually pays. That is a responsible plan to address affordability and to fight climate change.
Because she's rich.
The Honourable Member from Lakeland.
Well, after 9 years, it's clear that everyone but these out-of-touch elite NDP Liberals knows the carbon tax isn't worth the cost. Page 4 of last year's budget officer report says, quote, maybe you should listen, taking into consideration fiscal and economic impacts, most households will see a net loss. The NDP Liberals' inflationary tax and spend agenda makes everything more expensive and hurts vulnerable Canadians. The most common sense Conservatives will axe the tax for all for good, but since fuel prices have surged over 50% under him, will the PM at least axe the tax on Canadian summer road trips?
She's pissed.
The Honourable Minister for Energy and Natural Resources.
She's a backbencher,
Mr. Speaker,
but she's
it is
pissed.
very clear. 300 economists across this country agree.
Fucking laugh,
Canadians
asshole.
get more money back in the
Go ahead.
It is an approach that addresses affordability, does so in a manner that actually addresses climate change. Mr. Speaker, I would encourage my honourable colleague across the way to talk to her Premier, who has said it is a price on pollution that actually gives her family more money back, and she should go and have a conversation with Premier Smith, who just raised the price on gasoline by 13 cents with no rebate and no plan to address the climate crisis.
Oh yeah, no plan to address, because money's gonna help climate change. It's like that's what happened. That's just money. That's the problem.
The Honourable Member from Central Okanagan, Similkameen, Nicola.
Mr. Speaker, our jet-setting Prime Minister has begun his summery luxury tour early, blowing through Philadelphia with his usual all-expenses-paid 5-star hotels and all the food and alcohol his entourage can take. After 9 years of this NDP Liberal government, most Canadians can hardly afford a summer road trip. Will he adopt our common sense plan to put $682 in the pockets of British Columbians and give them a shot at a summer road trip? Or is he planning on putting himself first?
Oh, always. He's gonna go, when he's done this tour, he's gonna go to Tofino. He's gonna go, yeah, that's what he's gonna do. He doesn't give a shit. Oh, Michelle, I'm a little turned on right now.
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Once again, I would encourage my honourable colleagues across the way to stop misleading people with respect to the price of pollution. They need to look and read the letter that was written by 300...
They're misleading people. Yes, them with the talking about what Canadians are actually telling them and reading the budget officer's report. They're misleading people. Yes, Yes, it's them.
Economists across this country that say the carbon price is the most economically efficient way to address climate in a manner that actually addresses affordability for Canadians. I would encourage them to go to talk to their friend, Premier Smith, who said exactly that. Her family got more money back than they actually paid in the price on pollution. And I would encourage them, if they're concerned about the price of gas, go talk to Premier Smith and ask her to reduce it by 13 cents that she just raised it with no rebate whatsoever.
He's saying the same thing over and over again.
The honourable member from Central Okanagan, Similkameen Nicola.
That rhetoric won't put money in the back pocket of British Columbians. Nope. And while the cost of this jet-setting Prime Minister summer luxury tours and vacation soars, his carbon taxes and gas taxes are driving Canadians nose first into the ground. This Prime Minister is not worth the cost. Canadians are struggling to afford a simple road trip. Our Conservative common sense plan to give $682 back to the people of British Columbia. Will the Prime Minister agree that his carbon tax is a road trip wrecker and axe the tax on gas this summer?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Oh, she's back.
I am really astonished by the gall of these Conservatives who have the temerity to talk about the road trips of regular Canadians when they racked up $426,283 of the money of Canadians traveling to their own convention. The member for Central Okanagan was one of the Conservatives.
$426,000 for the entire Conservative convention travel versus probably that much for each one of your government's trips. You can just fuck off, Christia. No fucking comparison.
Conservatives who charged regular Canadians to go to his convention. That is not right, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Lac-Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Immigration has finally met with his counterparts from Quebec, the provinces and the territories, and they have finally addressed the issue of reception capacity. The solution, a working committee. A working committee to examine the distribution of asylum seekers.
A committee.
It doesn't seem to me that this wasn't a problem for the Minister. It seems to me that when we asked for a more equitable distribution, he told us that asylum seekers are not cattle. Are we to understand that nothing will change between now and the committee's recommendation on the ground?
Yes.
The Honourable Minister
that is exactly
of Immigration,
what
Refugees and Citizenship. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If he'd like to criticize the working committee, perhaps he should also criticize the government of Quebec because they proposed it, and with the other provinces we said yes. He wasn't at the meeting 8 days ago. We did agree in a communique that we work together unanimously and coordinate our efforts, because we know that asylum seekers do need to be welcomed in Quebec, and we do this. I'm sorry,
didn't you say no? Like, didn't you make a snide remark about somebody not being invited to your meeting with the premiers?
In coordination with all provinces.
Guy too.
The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. I would ask if he invites me next time, I'll be there. Quebec is asking to be reimbursed for $1 billion for the cost of welcoming asylum seekers. Quebec is just asking the cost be shared with other provinces so that they're doing their fair share. Quebec is calling for a reduction in temporary immigration and power to approve all applicants, and calling for French language requirements. And what did the immigration minister offer Quebecers after months of shirking his responsibilities? A committee. Is there even a deadline for this committee to start delivering results?
There's probably not even a deadline for the committee to be assembled.
Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. What we don't invite to these meetings are quarrels. Mr. Speaker, we want to work together, and our communique was unanimous for once with Quebec. And in terms of French training, we've set aside around $5 billion since 2015. We want to make sure once again that French is strengthened in Quebec. The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. At the end of the meeting, the Minister of Immigration said that the status quo was no longer acceptable. But as we speak, it is still the status quo. Nothing has changed on the ground. And as we speak, the federal government hasn't paid Quebec back 1 cent. And Quebec still receives more than half of all asylum seekers in Canada.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow, that's disproportionate. Like, even as much as people don't like Quebec, holy fuck. Half the asylum seekers, nothing paid back. That's ridiculous. The French prevents all your issues.
This committee mustn't be allowed to become a toy to buy time until the election. It needed results yesterday, and it's even more urgent today. So when are results due? The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Mr. Speaker, the status quo is the bloc which has done nothing for 30 years, even though we have given billions to Quebec for French training. And those are the results they've achieved.
The Honourable Member from Hastings, Lennox-Naddington.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 summers, Canadians know this Prime Minister is not worth the cost. His carbon tax has hiked up the prices of everything. Canadians deserve relief, not taxes. Unlike this coalition of convenience, Conservatives have a solution. Cancel all federal tax on gas from now until Labor Day, keeping nearly $600 in the bank accounts of Ontarians to spend on basic needs and maybe even visit with family. Mr. Speaker, would it be too much to ask for the Prime Minister to lend a helping hand to Canadians and take the tax off their summer road trips?
Yeah. Yes, it would be. Apparently,
the Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Mr. Speaker, I'm curious if the honourable members actually approach Conservative premiers across Canada who maintain their own taxes on fuel. Mr. Speaker, in particular, in the province of Alberta, Danielle Smith has increased the price of fuel by 13 cents and offers no rebate. I expect she knows very well that the majority of families receive more than they actually pay in a fuel tax, but facts don't seem to matter to a party who is committed to eroding all of the environmental protections that exist in this country.
Yes, apparently if you take the taxes away for the summer, you don't care about the environment, and the entire country is going to spontaneously combust.
And have virtually no plans to invest in the things that are going to help working class families address the cost of living. We're in search of solutions, not fights. I wish they'd at least come armed with facts.
The Honourable Member from South Shore St. Margaret's.
Conservatives are calling on the NDP Liberals to axe the carbon tax and all federal taxes on gas from Victoria Day to Labor Day. For Nova Scotians, this represents $542 of savings per family this summer. After 9 years, we know the Prime Minister will jet off to surf in Tofino this summer at taxpayers' expenses, while Nova Scotians can't afford a summer road trip.
That's right.
Will the Prime Minister do a surfing cutback to help Canadians by taking the tax off the summer road trip?
But I want to go to Tofino.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, I know the Conservatives
Why
are excited.
is the
They think they
Minister
found
of
a new
Health
bumper
talking?
sticker to put. But what would they say to that family? Not only are they taking away their carbon rebate, they also would be taking away childcare. They'd be taking away dental care. They'd be
Okay, dental care isn't a thing. Dental care isn't a federal jurisdiction. Child care isn't a federal jurisdiction. Nobody wants national school food programs.
taking away their diabetes medication. So what they say in exchange for taking all of those things away from vulnerable people is to say that a false, empty promise. And that's what we have on the other side.
To
empty
say a
rhetoric
false, empty
and
promise.
really
Empty
attacking
rhetoric.
vulnerable people at a time when they most need help. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to stand with those who need help.
You don't have an argument. He got going and then he realized he didn't actually have an argument. Isn't that interesting? He completely just stopped his sentence and just said, empty promise, empty rhetoric, because he didn't have an actual argument.
The Honourable Member from Brandon-Souris.
Speaker, after 9 years, Canadians can't afford this NDP Liberal government's carbon tax that they just increased by 23%. That's why Conservatives announced a common sense plan to axe the carbon tax and all federal taxes on gas from Victoria Day to Labor Day.
Great idea.
It's a 35-cent per litre saving, Mr. Speaker. In Manitoba, this would represent over $600 in savings for each family during this summer. So will the Prime Minister lend a helping hand to Canadians and take the tax off their summer road trip?
The Honourable Minister for Families.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was actually just in Manitoba last week where we were announcing supports for Canadian families, Mr. Speaker.
Of course you
more
were.
investments in creating more childcare space.
Hello? Oh, uh-oh. Oh, okay. Okay.
He's already got it loaded up and he's on his way over now.
What's the time frame, do you think?
Like 5. Okay. We live about 30 seconds from the front door.
Oh, okay.
And I just told him, I literally just hung up with
Okay. Door is unlocked. Okay. Love you, bye. Yay! Hot water is coming! Hot water is coming, you guys!
Spaces to relieve the burden for families. These are programs that we continue to invest in. The Canada Child Benefit, Canada,
I don't know what I'm saying. The child tax credit that you guys renamed that the Conservatives put into place.
The Child Benefit, Canada, the dental plan, excuse me.
She can't even, she's laughing because she can't talk because she's lying. She's lying.
Mr. Speaker, investments in Canadians, well, we see the Conservatives continue to vote against, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from King Vaughan.
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal government, people can't afford to live or die. Funeral costs are now out of reach for Canadians in Ontario. The increase in unclaimed bodies is 488% since 2013. This Prime Minister is not worth the cost. Seniors are already struggling with affordability crisis. They have built this country and now they can't afford to bid their loved ones farewell.
Nope.
When will this Prime Minister show some compassion and stop the out-of-control spending so people can live and die with dignity?
Never, because he is a robot who does not care about his people.
The Honourable Minister for Health.
Well, Mr. Speaker, for somebody to live with dignity, they need access to dental care.
Oh, I will be right back, you guys. Hello. Hello. It's just down the stairs there to your right. You're welcome. Okay. We are here. Hot water is being installed. Hooray. Happy, happy BP. Happy, happy BP. Okay.
For somebody to live with dignity, they need access to their diabetes medication. For somebody to live with dignity, they need access to the medicine and support and health care that we're making sure we deliver each and every day. And for the party opposite, the Conservatives, to say the solution to global inflation and the crisis that people are seeing all over the world is to slash supports to vulnerable peoples, to attack the very supports that lift them up in the darkest times that we've faced in generations. We say no. We will continue to be there for Canadians Canadians and make sure they get what they...
Do they mean the baby bonus that we got in the 90s that was started in the 90s? Yep. Okay, he's already downstairs. He was carrying the water heater and kind of, it sounded like it was heavy, so he's already down there.
What they need.
If he comes up and asks, I'll tell him.
Reality that thanks to our just can't do is talk down
What
Canada.
the hell?
And what
the fuck?
French land, the idea for the deputy prime minister.
How did that happen?
Rhetoric.
Excuse me, let me put this TV right back while I fix this.
Prime Minister, lend a helping hand to
Somebody to live with dignity, they need access to dental care. For somebody to live with dignity, they need access to their diabetes medication. For somebody to live with dignity, they need access to the medicine and support and health care that we're making sure we deliver each and every day. And for the party opposite, the Conservatives, to say the solution to global inflation and the crisis that people are seeing all over the world is to slash supports to vulnerable peoples, to attack the very supports that lift them up in the darkest times that we've faced in generations. We say no. We will continue to be there for Canadians and make sure they get what they need.
The Honourable Member for Rosemont-la-Petite-Patrie. Mr. Speaker, over the last 3 years, the cost of the grocery basket has gone up by 21%. Food banks are incredibly full, but the Liberals and Conservatives are doing nothing. The CEO of Metro is a Conservative donor. We know who the leader of the opposition is really working for, and the Liberals are giving millions of dollars to Loblaw and Costco. People are hungry, and meanwhile, the CEOs are getting the VIP treatment. Enough is enough. Will the Liberals support our motion to ensure that CEOs...
Metro is cheaper. Metro is cheaper than Loblaws and Costco. And so is Foodland. That's why people aren't shopping at Loblaws and Costco, and they're going to places like Metro, Foodland, like the local grocery stores.
Pay their fair share? Yes or no? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, we have an economic plan for fairness for each generation and for each Canadian. Mr. Speaker, we know that in order to fund that plan in a fiscally accountable manner,
stop government spending brings inflation down, right?
We need to ask the wealthiest to pay a little more. And that's what our government is doing.
No, you're asking the people who have worked their asses off to finally make enough, like a good salary individually to pay a little bit more. You're not doing anything for corporations to pay a little bit more.
My question is for the Conservatives who oppose our plan. They are the ones who are against a fair plan.
The Honourable Member from Vancouver, Kingsway.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are hungry and hurting. Liberals have failed to lower food prices while Conservatives promote corporate greed. Yeah. Over the last 3 years, grocery prices increased 21% while portions shrink. In 2023 alone...
That's true. Portions are growing much smaller and prices are getting a lot bigger. Like the bottles of ketchup are like stupidly expensive and they were smaller. Bags of chips, there's less chips in them and they cost more. Oops.
Grocery giants made a record $6 billion in profit, all while Canadian families are tightening their belts and missing meals. That's why today New Democrats are forcing Liberals to take a stand. Will they support our motion to make CEOs pay what they owe or continue to put profits over people like the Conservatives do?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, we're going to have to do what you want because we don't want the Conservatives to win.
Mr. Speaker, our government has put forward a plan for fairness for every generation, a plan to invest in housing, in affordability, in economic growth. And we've done it in a fiscally responsible way because we know inflation has to come down so interest rates can come down.
Okay, so do you know that you have to stop spending for inflation to come down and interest rates to come down, or do you think you can just spend your way out of this? I know the answer to that, but do you?
To do that, Mr. Speaker, we are asking those who are the most successful in our amazing country to contribute a little bit more.
Who are most
That's tax fairness, Mr. Speaker. We support it. The party that opposes it is the Conservatives.
That's right. Good job.
L'honorable député de Dorval-Lachine-LaSalle.
Mr. Speaker, 8 out of 10 Canadians support a woman's right to choose.
Yes, and nobody thinks that the Conservatives are going to take that away.
Yet,
why are we
it seems the
this up?
Conservative leader is unwilling to assure Canadians that he and his party will defend this fundamental right.
It's not a fundamental right. We already have abortion covered in health care. What do you want? Oh my, like, why are you doing this? Conservatives aren't going to make any laws taking that away. Just stop fear-mongering.
Could the Minister of Women and Gender Equality and Youth remind the House of our government's position on a woman's right to choose? Thank you.
But we have a Minister for Children and Families. Why are youth lumped in with... Why is youth lumped in with gender equality? That's an interesting thing that I just caught.
The Honourable Minister for Women and Gender Equality.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the member for her advocacy and her tireless work. I am proud to stand in this House to tell Canadians our government will always defend and support a woman's right to choose. Conservatives claim this is settled, yet anti-choice bills and petitions keep cropping up. Mr. Speaker, it is settled for us.
It is settled. And those petitions are freedom of speech, and they don't mean that every Conservative is going to sign them, and they don't mean that they're going to make it in front of the House. They're just freedom of speech. That just goes to show you don't believe in freedom of speech.
No ifs, no buts, or maybes. We will never stop defending the rights women in this country have fought
There's
so
no such
hard
thing
for.
as fairness in reality, just equilibrium or stability. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Haute-Saint-Charles. Well, Mr. Speaker, July 1st is going to be a disaster for people looking for housing in Quebec. We know that new housing construction has gone down in Montreal for both collective and individual housing year over year. We see that this Prime Minister's strategy is just another in a long list of failures. Will the Prime Minister do something about the obstacles that are preventing new home construction in Quebec?
No.
The Honourable Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Here we go. Okay, let me guess. Who's going to bet he's going to bring up 6 houses? Any bets?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's interesting because the colleague who asked the question does not have a plan to address the situation. We have a plan to make the necessary investments to construct housing. For example, Mr. Speaker, we've signed an agreement with Quebec to build 8,000 new units of affordable housing.
Leader of the opposition, when he was housing minister, was only able to build 6 units across the entire country.
Called it. It only took about 30 seconds. It took 30 seconds for them to bring up 6 houses.
They're going to cut the programs for housing. We're going to make the investments. There is not a clearer contrast.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, what the Minister should remember is that over the last 9 years, this government with its friends in the Bloc Québécois created the conditions that has made the cost of living so high today, along with interest rates and inflation.
Fact.
$500 billion in inflationary spending was voted for by this government and the Bloc Québécois. And that's why Canadians and Quebecers today don't have enough housing or just can't access it because it's too expensive. So can I get an intelligent answer to my question? The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement.
Oh shit. God damn, I love when people insult you without insulting you and they can get away with it because they didn't actually directly insult you, but still like...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I love that.
We see that sometimes memory can be quite short. My colleague seems to have forgotten that the Leader of the Opposition, when he was Minister of Housing, only built 6 units.
Wait, did he have to say that in English because his French is that bad? Yeah, I think so. Women in our country's technology have more opportunities than men, so why so much screaming about women's rights? Because tasty control. The gloves are off.
Units
and Trudeau isn't around to say because he's fucking off around in the US. With that women's conference bullshit. Oh, yeah.
Housing throughout the whole country during his entire term. 6. Whereas just in Charlebourg-Saint-Charles, my colleagues writing 222 units of affordable housing were built over the last 2 months thanks to the financial support of the Quebec and federal governments. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint-Laurent. Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of this Liberal government, we see that this Liberal party is not worth the costs, and Canadians are paying the cost. We're seeing now that rent has doubled with these Liberals in power, and people in Quebec are very worried because they know that there's going to be a crisis on July 1st. In Le Soleil, Nicole Dion, the coordinator of a housing organization, is saying that starting in mid-May, people are starting to panic because they may not be able to find housing and will end up in the streets.
Yeah. And because I think there are... Because and those atrocious Argyle socks with his $10,000 suit. See, that's one I want to see. I want somebody to break down the cost of every one of Justin Trudeau's fucking suits. Because to these idiots, women's rights means the ability to abort a healthy baby. Yep.
What does this government have to say to people who won't be able to find decent housing?
Nothing.
The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Because as far as they're concerned, the fact that they built more affordable housing than Polyev means that they're winning. Not the fact that they have to build more affordable housing because housing cost is higher, so people need fixed housing prices and income stabilized housing. Because that's what they've done. They've caused that. No, never mind that. It's that they're winning because they have a bigger number than Polyev. That's all they care about.
Madame Dion is quite right. And she would be very shocked to hear that the Leader of the Opposition only created 6 units of affordable housing when he was Minister of Housing throughout the country during his entire term. Not 6 just for Quebec.
That's all they care about.
6 units of affordable housing throughout the entire country.
We have a bigger number.
In my esteemed colleagues writing, Louis Saint-Laurent, we have built hundreds of units of affordable housing just in the last few months, thanks to the leadership of Quebec municipalities, which my Conservative colleagues like to call incompetent.
No,
Mr.
he's
Speaker,
called you
it's
incompetent.
really unfortunate to see
and
that
he's called the provincial government incompetent. He didn't call the mayors incompetent. They don't care unless they're French or refugees. Yep. The Argyle socks are the only good things about Trudeau. Those suits are nasty as fuck.
My colleague from Quebec is continuing to engage in this kind of partisan mudslinging. I don't think Madame Dion would actually...
Excuse me? I'm sorry, who's mudslinging in this conversation?
...be in favor of what he just said. We know that people are suffering in Quebec. We know that 815 people asked for help from the CMHC. Would this minister like to go see them and talk to them about this kind of ridiculous point? The Honourable Minister of Procurement. Well, Mr. Speaker, I would be very pleased to go visit the 160 affordable housing units that were built in my colleague's riding. But the problem is that his Conservative leader is accusing Quebec municipalities of being incompetent.
No, he's not.
And yet, currently, in Quebec City, hundreds of units of affordable housing are being built thanks to Quebec City's municipal leadership with the funding from the federal government. So instead of boasting about these 6 meager affordable housing units that the Conservative leader built, well, we are working constructively with everyone involved.
Of course we have to talk about the 6th number, the 6 again. In the United States, we are dealing with the same issues, even though our governments are run differently. The majority are out of touch with reality. That it's true, and it makes me really angry when I hear either Canadian or American people criticizing the other country and saying, you know, oh, ours is better off right now. No, we're equally fucked right now, and we need to understand that. We need to recognize that, and we need to band together as citizens and talk about it and critically think about what our government is saying and doing, because that is the only way we're going to stop what's going on right now.
The Honourable Member for Jonquière. Mr. Speaker, the government has brought in a gag order to implement the budget, but this is a budget that's all about interfering in Quebec jurisdiction. It's all about making decisions on behalf of Quebecers, forcing strings onto Quebec and its cities to cut housing, or saying that housing will be cut if the conditions aren't met. It's intruding into the area of health. It's taking over all sorts of powers in the financial sector. It's almost as if the Liberals were a bit into separatism. Because once again, we're seeing this budget attacking Canadian federalism. Why not cooperate with Quebec instead of picking fights here?
Did they just... Wow. That was ballsy. Accusing the Liberals of being separatists?
The Honourable Minister of Transport.
That's an interesting
Well, I'm very surprised to hear my colleague worrying about federalism. And I'm glad he cares about Canada. We also care about Canada. We've brought in programs that matter for all Canadians. And in fact, the Bloc Québécois should be ashamed because they, during the campaign, said that they would be working for the environment, for seniors, families, and for housing, and they voted against all of that. They should be ashamed.
The 6 houses, which isn't even the actual number. Nope. Nope. It's not even the actual real number. He built something like 90,000 apartments too at $973 a month.
The Honourable Member for Jonquière.
Rent?
Well, I will say that I don't care very much about federalism, but I do know that Quebecers want to be masters in their own home. But instead, in this budget, this federal government is trying to be the master of everything.
Yep.
The Liberals are trying to step in instead and do things that the provinces ought to deal with. But meanwhile, no one is keeping an eye on the federal government's jurisdiction. For example, no one is helping people between 65 and 75 who are not getting an increase in OAS. No one is helping with EI. No one is dealing with asylum. No one is helping in key sectors like forestry or aerospace. So it's
all of which are federal jurisdiction, but the feds are too busy worrying about healthcare, childcare, dental care, pharmacare, all of which are provincial matters.
Instead of trying to just do everything on behalf of the provinces, why don't the Liberals actually deal with their own business? The Honourable Minister of Transport. Mr.
We
Speaker,
just let the cat out of the bag combating Canadian federalism. Federalism is bad, so yeah, we want to combat it. Yep.
care of our seniors? The Liberal government. I'll tell you who's helping with housing. The Liberal government. Who's taking care of our youth? The Liberal government. Who's taking care of climate change and the environment? This Liberal government, Mr. Speaker. Meanwhile, the Bloc Québécois does one thing and one thing only. Pig fights, Mr. Speaker.
YouTube. Susan Jameson.
Uh-oh.
Button. Voicemail.
Hold on, guys. Hello? I'm okay.
They've lost sight of their moral compass. They don't even know why they're here. And at the risk of repeating myself, I would say that originally these people were here because they cared and they had passion, but today they're only still here for their pension.
À l'ordre, j'invite tous les collègues.
I would invite all of our colleagues to be very prudent in how they use language.
South Surrey, White Rock.
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister and his extremist agenda, once safe BC hospitals are now infested with chaos, drugs, and weapons. The BC Nurses Union confirms staff are exposed to fentanyl and meth smoke, even in maternity units. This is wacko. That's why I Will introduce the Safe Hospitals Act that will toughen penalties for criminals who bring in weapons and ban the minister for allowing open hard drug use in hospitals. Will the Prime Minister support our common sense Conservative plan, yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, in the first order, Mr. Speaker, if we're going to have safe hospitals, we have to provide science-based, evidence-based information and not support misinformation, because too often in our hospitals it is actually misinformation that is fueling much of the aggression that our doctors and nurses is facing. And secondly, I would say to the member opposite, the Health Committee going and listening to people on the ground in British Columbia and hearing directly from those affected by this toxic drug crisis. Why were the Conservatives not there? Why did they not send anybody to listen? Why are they not actually on the ground listening to those people who are suffering in this crisis? It's time to act on solutions and evidence, Mr. Speaker.
Children! Children that do things that aren't supposed to be done.
The Honourable Member from South Surrey, White Rock.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it'll be news to the BC Nurses Union that they're spreading disinformation. Here's the reality. Nurses should never be exposed to fentanyl smoke in their workplace. Patients should not have to worry about dangerous weapons when they're vulnerable, seeking treatment in hospitals. After 9 years, I can't believe I even have to ask this. Does the Prime Minister support tougher sentences for criminals who bring weapons into hospitals? And will he make it permanently illegal to smoke meth in hospital rooms next to newborn babies? Yes or no?
Yeah, right?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, of course, the only thing that separates the member opposite and her concern for victims and for families is that I and my colleagues here on this side of the House want to use evidence-based solutions to make sure that we respond to the crisis with things that are working. The reality is the strategy the member is advocating was first led by Newt Gingrich in the United States. It was the greatest disaster in his career. He has completely abdicated any responsibility for it, saying that it was a disastrous mistake. Stephen Harper's only actual advisors are saying the same thing. What they're advocating wouldn't work, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Cumberland Colchester.
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal coalition, Canadian...
Also, I really want to know the story behind smoking meth in hospitals beside babies. I gotta know. Yeah, I do too. So apparently the youngest child did not do his work today and was being a ridiculous, silly person and not following and not listening to instructions. So early bed for him tonight, no screens, and he has to do his homework as soon as he gets home.
Canadians are suffering with crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder. The minister talks about evidence. What about the evidence from the BC Nurses Union and their outcry to ban weapons and hard drugs inside of hospitals? What more science could there be than that, Speaker? On this side of the House, Conservatives announced our plan for tough penalties for weapons in hospitals and to not allow the minister to decriminalize or even legalize hard drugs.
Yeah, remember the memo we looked up? Where the BC Nurses Union was told to ignore the drugs? Why is this idiot talking about Stephen Harper's fucking advisors? I don't know. And why is he bringing up Newt Gingrich?
Why do we have to ask again, will the Prime Minister make it illegal to smoke crack and meth in a hospital next to a baby?
The Honourable Minister for Mental Health and Addictions.
Mr. Speaker, I find it disappointing that the member across actually did not join the recent visit by the Health Committee to BC to speak to experts on the ground. Actual member of the committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we follow science science, we follow medical experts, we follow best evidence-based practices in order to save lives. The war on drugs didn't work then, it will not work now. We need compassion, evidence, and science to guide us through this.
L'honorable député de Sudbury.
Oh,
the honourable
what kind
member
of
for Sudbury.
ridiculous liberal
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives voted against our Medicare legislation, which describes our government's plan to provide Canadians with free medication.
I told her that.
This bill represents an important step forward to ensure that Canadians all have access to free reproductive choices and that no one will have to ration insulin anymore. Can the Minister of Health tell us about the positive effects of this bill for Canadians? The Honourable Minister.
It's stupid shit like this that piss me the fuck off. Yeah.
Minister of Health.
Yeah. Stupid like this. The people that smoke meth next to their babies. The people that stand in fucking traffic with their babies in strollers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the member for her important work on this issue. We share her objective of ensuring that everyone in the country will be able to access the medication they need.
I think I smell
That is absolutely essential. I have a simple question for almost all of the members of the Conservative Party who are against this legislation. Why are these members against access to contraceptives?
Because they're accessible at the municipal level?
I can only think that these members are against women's rights generally.
Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Island, and Rideau Lakes.
Last week we learned that 3 contractors involved in this Prime Minister's $60 million Arrive scam alone were awarded $1 billion. After 9 years, we know that this Prime Minister isn't worth that cost. But let's also talk about the corruption. One of those contractors who received $20 million in IT contracts but did no IT work had their doors kicked in by the RCMP. But what we also learned is that they were wining and dining senior officials from this very government. So we know that it cost $60 million. How many boozy dinners were involved in this $60 million scandal?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, my honourable friend knows very well that there are internal investigations taking place with respect to this matter. A number of people were properly called before parliamentary committees and came to testify. And of course, he also knows that the RCMP are looking into this matter. He made reference to that in an overly dramatic moment as well. So, Mr. Speaker, he should have the decency to let the police do their work. We've said from the beginning, anybody who misused taxpayers' money will be held to account, and I have confidence that the RCMP will do their work.
Absolutely.
The honourable member from St. Albert, Edmonton.
Mr. Speaker, the ad hoc committee concluded that the Prime Minister went to unprecedented lengths to hide the Winnipeg lab documents from Parliament to protect his government from political embarrassment. In other words, a cover-up. And the cover-up continues. Last week, Liberal and NDP MPs voted to shut down a parliamentary committee to get to the bottom of the cover-up. A cover-up of a cover-up by the cover-up coalition. A simple question, what are they hiding?
That's a very good question. Oh, I'm hearing water. I think they're testing it. Hello. Yep.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the Honourable Member across would be aware that his party was against any of the mechanisms that actually brought these documents to light. It was this government. In fact, I was the...
They claim Conservatives want to take away women's rights. Does that mean female Conservatives are stepping down from their positions in politics? Or just giving up their birth control to be trad wives.
The House Leader at the time that made sure that we had an ad hoc process to make sure that there was a way to properly vet secure documents. And that's why these documents in full, unredacted, are available for everybody to see. Now, the Conservatives refuse to participate in that, and they continue to search for some way to pretend those documents aren't available. But to any Canadian, not just any parliamentarian who wants to see those documents, they are available in their entirety.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
L'honorable député de Portneuf-Jacques-Cartier.
The Honourable Member for Portneuf-Jacques-Cartier. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals are defending something unacceptable. The member for Glengarry Prescott Russell used vulgar and aggressive language towards Quebec witnesses who were defending the French language before committee on May 6th. The member
vulgar and aggressive. Actually, it was vulgar and aggressive.
Must be punished. He has tarnished the reputation of the committee and all its members. But of course, for the Liberals, a buddy is a buddy. They'd do anything to defend one of their own. Will the Prime Minister listen to reason and finally respect Francophones by removing the member from the Standing Committee on Official Languages and replacing him as head of the International Association Parlementaire de la Francophonie? The Honourable Government House Leader. Well, Mr. Speaker, the member for Glengarry Prescott Russell has spent a great deal of time in this Parliament defending French in Canada, much more than any member from the Conservative Party, in fact. We will...
We're the more Frenchy French people than you are. Jesus Christ.
Continue to stand up for the French language throughout Canada, including in Quebec.
We like French more than the Conservatives.
And the member for Glengarry Prescott Russell will do everything that he can to stand with us to defend French throughout Canada.
Très content que le ministre s'est repris.
Yes, thank you for correcting yourself, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are worried that the right to choose, along with sexual and reproductive health care, are no longer guaranteed. Our government has made critical investments in protecting and strengthening sexual and reproductive rights in Canada. Could the Minister of Women, Gender Equality and Youth update the House on the work our government is doing to support sexual and reproductive health care across this country?
Very important. Why is gender equality and youth in the same portfolio?
The Honourable Minister for Gender Equality and Youth.
Speaker, I appreciate the member and the question. Strengthening sexual reproductive health care is essential and to ensure that women can make their own decisions when it comes to their health. It's why we're making contraceptives free to 9 million women across Canada. It's why the Menstrual Equity Fund was created, which has lifted nearly 3 million people out of period poverty. It's why we invested $45 million into the Sexual and Reproductive Health Fund to organizations providing essential services. Investments like these, Mr. Speaker, are a true step forward to lasting gender equality.
I don't know how to feel about that. Period poverty. Okay. That's right, sister.
The Honourable Member from Edmonton-Griesbach.
Trinkets and beads, Mr. Speaker. That's what Obsidian Oil, an American company, has been willing to offer the Woodland Cree First Nation. Their drillings have caused earthquakes and polluted the land. Worse yet, now that Treaty 8 First Nations are exercising their treaty rights, the company has called on the RCMP to imprison Woodland Cree leaders. Wow. It's a shameful display of colonial tactics that have plagued Indigenous communities for generations. Will the Liberals uphold the treaty and support the Woodland Cree against this greedy company?
The Honourable Minister for Crown Indigenous Relations.
Mr. Speaker, self-determination over Indigenous land is so critical to our path towards reconciliation. We will be working with the Woodland Cree as well as my colleague opposite towards a resolution to this very important issue, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
You don't care about Cree.
The Honourable Member from Churchill-Coatineck, Askey.
Mr. Speaker, major wildfires hit early this year here in northern Manitoba because of drought, because of climate change.
Yes,
Thankfully, evacuees and
the zombie fires have returned because of climate change.
Cranberry, Portage, and elsewhere are back home. But in addition to thousands of hectares, the fire destroyed
6
fiber
fires
optic
in
and
the same
telecom lines and left major centers like Flin Flon stranded without vital internet and cell service for days. Bell MTS has reconnected their customers, but the truth is there need to be backups in place. Let's be clear. We need plans that apply to the catastrophic effects of climate change. Will this government step up, use its jurisdiction over telecom companies, and ensure critical infrastructure plans are in place for communities during climate emergencies like these?
The Honourable Minister for Emergency Preparedness.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the member for the question. I also want to thank her for raising those concerns very directly to me, which we responded. And other ministers and other departments responded very, very quickly. I also spoke with my counterpart within the province as well to look at...
Why is he like whispering? As though he's afraid.
At the issues, and we're speaking with the telecommunication companies to look at how we can look at a longer term solution and also emergency solutions and making sure that communication stays. Thank you.
So that was question period. That was what was back yesterday after a week of nothing. So yeah, what a shit show. Holy crap. Oh my god. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the coffee stream. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm gonna be back tonight for the combat hour at hopefully 9 p.m. if I can get my kidlets to go to sleep at a proper time instead of keeping themselves awake until midnight. And yeah, so I will be there. I hope you guys will join me. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you guys have a good time, a good afternoon. I'll see you back here tonight. Thanks for watching. Bye.